That's what we're going to be covering. Did you receive the course materials that was sent out?
I got the one from last week.
No, there was one sent out this morning as well.
I'll check my email. I'll check.
Yeah, if you check your email, it should be in there.
Okay.
So we've sent out the PowerPoint deck for today's lecture. That was sent out this morning, so you should have received that. So we're going to be learning common words, common Yoruba words and meanings. Okay? So let's say Yoruba. So we're going to be looking at common words and meanings. Okay? But just before we dive into that, a quick recap on last week's lecture. So last week we covered quite a lot of topic. We covered what is Yoruba. You know, understanding the cultural context is very important for the learners to be able to understand the background. What's the background to what we're trying to learn? So obviously before the language came the people. So we talk about the people, the background to Yoruba people, where we're from, what parts of West Africa did we originate from. We talk about the foundation, the Yoruba foundation history, a little bit, our origin story. We touched on it very briefly. You can learn more about that for those who are doing the Isheshe. You're going to be learning more about the Yoruba origin story for those who are going to be attending the Isheshe classes as well. So yeah, we talked about that. And then we talked about the Yoruba cosmology. And obviously we talked about the Yoruba language, the alphabet. We explained the concept of tonality, which applies to the Yoruba language. Yoruba language is a language of tone, of tonality. We explained why it's like that, and we also provided some examples. We went through the exercise of learning the alphabet from A, B, D, A, F, G, B, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, R, S, Sh, T, U, W, Y. We learned that, and we also learned the theoretical aspect of it. We explained why Yoruba alphabet. In the Yoruba alphabet, there are only 25 characters or 25 letters in the Yoruba alphabet. We explained why. So that was covered in the lecture. We also talked about the tonal marks that you'll find in Yoruba language. We explained why a letter could have multiple tones. Usually 3 tones associated with them: the high tone, the middle tone, and the low tone. And we explained and we looked at some examples as well of different words, different letters, and different tones. We also provided the framework of A, E, okay, and the framework of Do, Re, Mi. So which you can then hum to yourself. We use it to determine what kind of tonal mark should a word should it have. I explained how a single word in Yoruba may have a multitude of meanings depending on their tone. We looked at some examples of that, like aja, aja. Similar sounding words, completely the same letters. If you're spelling them out, they're spelled exactly the same. But the tonal mark which they carry, that's what denotes the differences in terms of how they need to be pronounced, and of course the meanings that you associate with them. We looked at different ones like apa. We looked like baba. We looked at different words, and I also explained how Yoruba language, the lettering and the pronunciations are very, very consistent in their usage. I explained how in English language, for contrast, the English language may have different tone, but different letters actually represent them, but in different scenarios. One of the examples I provided was celery. If you look at the beginning of the word celery, you've got C at the top of it. But in that context, it's given a S sound for celery. But if you then look at car, the same letter starts at the beginning of car, C. So the beginning of celery has got C in front of it. The beginning of car has a C in front of it, but their pronunciation is completely different. We don't have that kind of confusion or conflation in the Yoruba language. It's always consistent. So we don't have C in Yoruba language, and we don't have Q. We've got what? K, which is ki. Is the only sound that pronounces k. That k sound, only one letter represents it in all scenarios, in all circumstances. Okay, in every context in which you experience that letter, it's going to be going k. So when you hear a Yoruba word which begins with k, then you know for a fact that's the key that you should put in front of it, which looks like a K in English language. It's not K, it is key. Okay, so we explained all of that. For those our learners who have registered, you would have received the learning pack for week 1. And also learning pack for week 2 was sent out this morning, and that's what we're going to be using for the purpose of today. Okay, so for those who are coming in, please share the live and power tap. But so this week 2 lecture is going to be probably the last one that we do publicly. I am putting some steps into place which will enable us to do these lectures ideally on YouTube, on TikTok going forward, on TikTok, but in a way that it would be private going forward, so that only the registered learners will be able to attend the lectures, okay? Because we need to be fair. We need to be fair to those who have invested in this learning program. We need to ensure that while some people have paid for it, we're not leaving it open for everyone else. But obviously, this is the first time we're doing this. We are only in our 2nd week. So for the benefit of those who have not registered, who are still planning to register, we're going to hold this lecture for today. We're going to leave it open in a public space. But going forward, it's going to be subscription based. So only those who have registered will be able to attend going forward. Okay? But this is week 2. Everybody's welcome. So for today's lecture, which is on week 2, and brought to you by the Yoruba Learning Foundation, the home of Yoruba learning and language mastery, which is basically it's a Yoruba language version of Open University. For those who are familiar with Open University and Harvard Online, that's what this module has been tailored against. It's been modeled based on Open University in terms of the lecture, the structure of the teachings, as well as the course and the learning materials that our registered users all have access to. So this is the Open University, so to speak, or Harvard Online version of Yoruba language mastery. Okay. And everybody is welcome. This is not only for Yoruba people, it's not only for Nigerians, it's for anyone who's interested in learning Yoruba, and the objective of the course is to help our learners to develop Yoruba language proficiency, both in speech as well as in writing. Okay? So starting today, we're going to be starting with what? Words and meanings. That's the learning objective of today's lecture. So we're going to be practicing some words, some common Yoruba names, and some common Yoruba wordings. So that's what we're going to be practicing today. Like I said, for those who have joined or those who are watching us, welcome. But please share the live and power tap as we're going. So we'll start from the top. Common words. Ọmọ, or more. So just me. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here, brother.
Okay. Your voice is quite low, by the way.
Is it better here? Is it
A
better?
little bit better. A little bit. You sound a bit shy today.
No. I'm good. I'm just a bit tired. That's all.
Okay. So based on what we learned last week, if I'm writing or more, should the letters will look like O, the first and the third, should they have any tonal markings? Yes or no for or more?
Yes.
Okay, they should. They should have bottom accent, shouldn't they?
Yes.
For or more. Okay, and also should they have any top tonal mark for or more based on the do re mi framework that we studied last week?
Yes. The last O, I believe, should have a tonal mark.
Or more. Are you sure about that?
No.
No. Okay. Well, really, they shouldn't. Remember, there are three different tones in Yoruba language when you're doing this. Is high, medium, and low. And we said the low is what? Do. The mid one is re, and the high, which is represented by the rightward facing tonal mark, is mi. So this is or more. If we hum that to yourself, what do you hear?
Could you? I'm very visual. Could you put that at the bottom of the board as a reference?
Oh, okay. Am I blocking it?
No. I need to put the what you were describing with the tonal.
Oh, okay. The framework.
Yeah, at the bottom of the board as a reference, so I can refer. I'm very visual.
It makes sense. Okay. Do, re, mi, do. Does that make sense now? So you can see the do is always facing the mark is facing left. Re is neutral, and mi is got the rightward facing tonal mark.
Okay, so could you put the tonal on the top of them so that I can have a reference?
Yeah, they're right there.
Oh, I'm not seeing the re.
Yeah, well, the re is neutral. Typically, you're not going to see any tonal mark on top of re.
Oh, I get it now. I get it.
Sometimes it's represented with a dash like this, but I would say majority of the time it's going to be blank. When it's blank, you know that's a re sound. You know that's a mid tone.
I see.
Yeah.
So do is low. So if I see that tonal, then I go low in tone. I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that making sense?
Yes.
Okay. So which is why when we're talking about or more, you know it should be what? Re. It sounds similar, doesn't it? When I say or more, re. Yeah?
Yes, it does sound similar.
It's clear. So that means typically those two vowels will be blank. In some circumstances, you may see them represented with a dash. But typically, I would say majority of the time, they're going to be blank. Okay? So that's something to keep in mind. So that's or more. And what is that? What is the meaning of or more? In English, that means child. That means child or baby. Okay? That's what it means. Or more means child or baby. Okay? So something to keep in mind. And then we've got ọkùnrin. So tell me, the first vowel, should it have any tonal mark for ọkùnrin? Should it have any bottom accent, any bottom mark?
Yeah, I have the The slide opened in front of me, so I saw one at the bottom, so I'm assuming yes.
Oh, you're cheating. Okay, fair enough. So ọkùnrin should have a bottom because it's not ọkùnrin, it is ọkùnrin.
Oh,
It's
cool.
ọkùnrin, not ọkùnrin. If it was ọkùnrin, it wouldn't have one, would it?
I see. Okay. Oh,
It would just be an O without any bottom mark, any bottom tonal mark. But because it's ọkùnrin, it's going to have a bottom tonal mark for the O sound.
before the
And
tone
we've
is
got
O,
ọkùnrin.
or I mean, if the tone is O, is pronounced as R.
It sounds like O. It sounds like OR.
Oh, okay. All right.
Does it make sense? When it has a bottom tonal mark, that means it's O. It's not O.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay? So it's ọkùnrin. So could you tell me what marking should I have at the top of it? ọkùnrin.
A left facing tonal mark, so that means it's low. It's going down. So it's all conring.
ọkùnrin.
Did I get it? Oh,
Let's start with the first one. Should it have any tonal mark at the top? For O,
no.
it shouldn't. Well done. It shouldn't because it's that Ré sound. It's the middle tone, right?
Yes.
What about kunrin?
Cool. No. Because it sounds neutral.
No, let's do it again. O, kunrin,
Oh, okay. So
So the U, which looks like a U, but it's U, should it have any tonal accent? Any tonal
Yes.
mark? This vowel?
yes.
What should it have?
The left facing.
Well done. Yes, you're getting it. Okay, because it's What about the last vowel?
No, I don't think so. Oh, Korean. It's higher, so should I have a forward facing?
No, go with the tone. You remember the framework? Do, re, mi.
Should it have another backward, because it seems like you're going down, that your tone is going down. Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
yes. Okay. So another left facing tonal, so it's
It
two.
shouldn't have anything because
Should
it's
it?
what?
Is it neutral?
It's neutral. Yeah. Because it's still sounding like re, do, re.
Okay.
You get it?
Yes.
Re. Does that make sense? Because it's re, it sounds like re. Sounds like do. Or sounds like re as well. So this shouldn't have anything on it.
Okay.
Because it's re, which means re, it sounds like re. So the key thing is to use this framework but hum it to yourself. So whenever you see a word, pronounce it, then hum it to yourself. So instead of saying ọkùnrin, you could also hum it internally, like By the time you're doing that, with keeping this framework in mind, it will tell you exactly what tone every vowel should carry. Okay, that's the trick. So ọkùnrin means what? It means male. Sometimes it could mean man. But what you're saying is that's a male character. Ọkùnrin means man. Ọkùnrin is male. I think male or man. It's interchangeable. Okay? Sometimes ọkùnrin, ọmọdé ọkùnrin, that means a male child. Okay? So that's what it means. And then what else have we got? So let's go with Obìnrin. Yeah, you should be humming it already. So obìnrin, obìnrin. Do you see the difference between this letter and the ones above it?
Yes.
You see, this one doesn't have any bottom tone, does it?
Yes.
It doesn't have any tonal mark at the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Obìnrin. So that means we're calling it O rather than O. Because there's no bottom accent. It means it's O rather than O. It's very easy. Once you understand that, the rest is easy from that point. Okay? So, do we understand then?
Yes.
This one, what tonal mark should they carry now? The correct one we're looking at.
Obìnrin.
Obìnrin. The first vowel, should it have any tonal mark? The first vowel, should it have any tonal mark at the top of it?
Yes.
Hum it to yourself now before you say yes. Obìnrin. So when you hum it to yourself, does it sound like a do?
No.
Does it sound like a re? Or does it sound like a me?
It sounds neutral. It sounds neutral, like
Exactly. It's neutral because it sounds like a re. When you say o, re, you can see the tone is going now. It's neutral for both. So this shouldn't have any. What about be, re, o, So be. When you say be, what does it sound like? It sounds like do, doesn't it?
Yeah, kind of like
Like do. Like the low tone.
Yeah.
So what do? We put our leftward facing tonal mark on top of that vowel. What about re? What does that sound like? Re. So what should it have?
Forward facing. It should have a right facing tonal mark, should it?
Exactly, because it sounds like me, right? Obìnrin. Obìnrin. Actually, it shouldn't, because re sounds like re, doesn't it? Re. If it was obìnrin, then it would have a right facing. It should be neutral because it's what? It's re. We sound like re, re. If it was re, you see the difference now. If it was obìnrin, it would have a what? A high tone with a rightward facing mark. But because it's re, that's a neutral one because it sounds like re. I hope that's making sense. So obìnrin, what does that mean? Obìnrin means female
Or woman.
or woman. Okay? It means female or woman. Obìnrin, àṣebá obìnrin o. Then we can try another one. Bàbá. This already came up in week 1. Bàbá. So you should probably remember. Bàbá. So the vowels on bàbá. Bàbá. Do, mi. Bàbá. Do, mi. Okay? So which means the first vowel will carry a lower tone, and the last one at the very end would have a high tone because it's ba, 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 Baba. In some instances, to be fair, some people are going to say Baba because even in Yoruba language we have different dialects. We have different dialects even in Yoruba language. In the Yoruba land, we have different dialects. So some people may call it Baba, but the most common pronunciation is Baba. Okay? Is Baba, which means what?
Father.
It means father. Okay? And we also have Iya. 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 So what should that be?
High and low. Iya.
Iya. No, Iya.
Iya. So if you're starting high, so that's a re, like a re, e. Yeah.
Yeah. Remember. Yeah. So for iya, when it's so what should it have? The first vowel. Because that's a which sounds like what?
A right facing total mark. Because
no, the first one should have a left facing because it's a do sound.
Is it? So all of the beginnings are lower, like do?
No, not all the beginnings are low. Is that what you're noticing? Is that the pattern you're noticing?
It seems to be the pattern. Sorry.
No, but if you look so far, we've got Omo with a middle tone, Okuri with a middle tone at the start. We've got Obiri with a middle tone. Baba is got a low sound to begin with, but Iya, because it's is do, mi, Iya. So you're going to say it like this: Iya, do, mi. Using this framework and humming it to yourself. That's basically the trick. That's the trick behind everything we're doing. Is that tonal mark and being able to hum it to yourself. That's the trick. If you're able to do that, the rest is easy. For E, yeah, sounds like do, mi, doesn't it? E, yeah, do, mi, E, yeah, do, mi. So iya means what? Mother. Okay? Iya means mother. Should we try a couple more?
Oh yeah.
Ọ̀rẹ́.
Ọ̀rẹ́.
Ọ̀rẹ́. What do you have with that? Ọ̀rẹ́.
Ọ̀rẹ́. We have the or, so that is a tonal mark at the bottom.
So the first one, tonal mark at the bottom, yeah, correct? Or and then re, because it's not the A, it's re, so that should also have a tonal mark at the bottom, right? So yeah, well spotted. And then at the top of or, what should we have? Or. If we're using the do, re, mi framework.
The left facing tonal
well
mark.
done, yes. The left facing tone. And then re, what does that sound like? If we're using the framework of do, re, mi, mo, re, or re,
or mi, do, mi.
Do, mi, exactly, well done. Or, re, do, mi, right?
Yep. Or re.
So when you say re, you're doing so that's telling you it's me, right? Or me, do, me, or re. So what does that mean? Or re means friend. A friend in need is a friend indeed. Yeah. Or re. Obviously, in the workbook there are other examples on that, but I think we've learned enough to move on to the next lesson. So the first lesson in week 2, module 2, we're learning about words and meanings, which means ọ̀rọ̀ àti ìtumọ̀. Actually, why don't I do this? Ọ̀rọ̀. Ìtumọ̀. Now I'm calling me. Okay? So words and meanings. Okay? For the students who have registered, you've got in the workbook that you've received, there are other examples in there, like àgbà, which means elder, like ọmọkùnrin, which means a baby boy. Okay? And there's ọmọbìnrin, which means a baby girl, like, younger girl, like yeah. And then we've got ẹ̀dá, which means a human being, or human, or being. Ẹ̀dá, okay? So obviously the idea is that you practice them in your own time as well. We practice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. There are about 9 or 10 in total in the workbook. So the idea is you practice them yourself, because we're going to be using them at various stages of this course, okay? And then we have exercise 1, which means write 5 Yoruba words for people and their English meanings. Okay, so that's the first one, is write 5 Yoruba words. So that's a learning thing that that all the students, we're challenging you to go away and discover Yoruba words and their meaning in your own time. Okay, that's the first exercise in week 2. Is in addition to the ones you've been provided, is for you to then go away and discover and find 5 Yoruba words. Write them and their meaning in the workbook that you've been provided. Okay? And then lesson 2 is we're going to be talking about places and things. Okay? Lesson 2, we're now going to be talking about places and things. I'm about to wipe off the board. So for those who need it, I'm going to give you a moment to take a screenshot. I'm going to give you a moment to take a screenshot. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So now we're going to be talking about places and things. Places and okay, meaning. Okay, we're going to be talking about places and things along with their meaning. Okay, so we're going to start with ilé, ire, So what do we have in the first vowel for this one? Ilé, high, medium, or low? Ré, mi, ilé, ré, mi, ilé, Right? Meaning what? House. Okay? And then we've got ìtòsí. Ìtòsí, which means what? Do, me. Ìtòsí, which means nearby. Okay? Do, mi, ìtòsí. Do, mi, ìtòsí. Okay? Let's try a couple more. Ọjà. Okay? So, ọjà. Should the first vowel, should they have any tonal mark?
Yes.
Or the first and the last one? The first one, should they have any tonal mark?
Yes. Under the O.
Because it's the O sound, right? Ja. O, ja. So what about the top? What tonal accent mark should I have? O, ja. When you hum it to yourself, what do you hear? You're hearing what? Re, do. Re, do. Re, do, right? Oh, ja, re, so that's neutral. And then the next one, ja, is going to be facing what? Facing left. Because it is do. Oh, ja. What does that give? Re, do. Okay? And the meaning, market. Oja is market. Okay, so if you're going to the market, you're saying, well, èmi ń lọ sọ́jà. That means I'm going to the market. Okay, èmi ń lọ sí ọjà. Èmi ń lọ sí ọjà. That means I am going to the market. Or I could say, ta ló fẹ́ lọ sọ́jà? Who wants to go to the market? Okay. Then we're going to try something else. This one is a little bit more complex. So we've got òpópónà. That's got 4 syllables in it, which is an interesting word. Òpópónà. Òpópónà. No. 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 But to be honest with you, this is like this is the real word, okay? The real word. But most of the time in the modern speak, what you are going to hear is or no. Okay? Because a lot that this word you are only going to hear, I would say majority of the time, you're going to hear the abbreviation. Because in modern Yoruba, it's a bit like in any other language. There are a lot of abbreviations in the modern speak. Okay? Most of the time, people are going to say oh no. And I can promise you, there are a lot of Yoruba people who will say, oh no. That means, is there a road there? Is there a way there? Or no, I took that road. Or no, mori. I walked that road. Most people, even Yoruba people, don't know that oh no. It's actually an abbreviation of òpópónà. Okay? For those who are with us, who are learning this, so you've got the luxury of learning the root word as well. Okay? So this one, I put it in there deliberately so that you understand as you're learning the meaning of, which means road or way. Okay? As you're learning it in Yoruba language, we are also teaching the root word. It's important for you to understand the root word, okay? So the full root word, root, is òpópónà. But in modern speak, like I said, most of the time, majority of the time, unless you're speaking to some really old people, okay, majority of the time, what you're going to hear is honor, which is a short and abbreviated version of it. Okay, but you know, It's good for you to know the root word so that when you're now hearing honor, chono wa be yani. That means, is there a road there? Is there a way there? Then you know that, okay, honor what? I know the root word, the root meaning of it, because it's really honor. That's what's been shortened into honor. Okay? Which means road or way or sometimes path. Okay? Shall we try maybe a couple more? We can try Iwe. Iwe. So when you are humming that to yourself, what do you hear? Iwe. So what's that?
Iwe.
So the fourth vowel, what tone should it have? Should it have a low tone, or middle tone, or high tone?
Iwe.
Yeah. Just hum it to yourself and you're gonna know. Hum it to yourself, keeping the do, re, mi framework in mind.
I would say the I would be neutral then, no?
No, the first one, because it's which is giving a do sound. When you say do, okay, hum do to yourself. Do. If you hum it to yourself, what do you hear? That's low. It sounds like do, doesn't it? When you say if you're listening to your humming, then you're going to be hearing do. 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 So when you keep that in mind, then you come here and you say E. It's the same do you're hearing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which means it's got a low tonal mark. Where? What about where? What do you hear?
Me. Me.
So what should I have?
Right facing tone.
Right facing mark. Yes, because it's a high tone. E, where, and we already know that the tone is carried by the vowels in Yoruba language, not the consonants. It's always the vowels, okay? Which is R, E, A, U, R, A, E, O, U. Those are the vowels in Yoruba alphabet. So E, where sounds like what? Which is what? Do, me. E, where means book. Okay? Iwe means book. Okay? Iwe means book. There are other examples in the book, in the workbook. I think there's about 5 more, maybe about 9 or 10 altogether. I think it's about, I think there are 10 different places, words representing places and things. Okay? We've got tabili. Tabili sometimes is obviously it's a table, and you can see that tabili. It sounds like a borrowed word, isn't it? Because it sounds so similar to the English version, which is table. Okay. So I think tabili. It sounds a bit too similar to the English version, but ultimately it's table. Okay. Sometimes some people may say aboti, which means the literal translation for aboti is like a stool. It's like a stool, okay, like a footstool. But sometimes it's interchangeable. In some cases, you're going to see some people, mostly elderly people, when they're talking about table, sometimes they say aboti, especially if it's a small table, okay. But most of the time they say tabili. But tabili sounds too much like it's borrowed. It sounds too similar to the English equivalent. Okay? And we have asho, meaning cloth. Asho, cloth. Asho. And then we've got aga, meaning chair. Aga, meaning chair. Okay? And we have ile iwe, which is like a combination of 2 words, isn't it? So when we say ile, what do we have? We have a combination of what?
House and book.
Sorry?
House and book.
Exactly. So what does that? So when we say a house and a book, what does it mean?
School.
Exactly. That means a school. So ilé ìwé, which would mean what? School. So when you combine both, you're going to have school. Because when you have a house and it's a house of books, it would mean school. But in modern term, it could also mean library.
Library, yes.
Yeah, okay. And then what else do we have? We have ìlú. Ìlú can sometimes mean town, city, or country.
Ìlú.
Yeah. If I ask you, ìlú bolo ti wá, that means which country are you from? It could also mean town or it could mean city. So if we are already in the same country and we meet somewhere, and I know that the person I'm speaking to is also a Yoruba person, if I then say ìlú bolo ti wá, I already know that they're a Yoruba person. So clearly in that context, I'm not referring to their country because we are in the same country and we are speaking the same language. But I want to know ìlú bolo ti wá, that means which parts of Yoruba land are you from? Which town? Which city? Okay? Are you from? So ìlú could mean what? It could mean country, it could mean town, or it could mean city. Okay? So yes, it's important to understand that. And obviously there's a learning activity for those, like I said, for the students who have received the workbook for week 2. There is a learning activity at this point after lesson 2, which is basically we're asking students to match Yoruba words to their English meanings. So identify 5 words and match them to their meanings. Okay, 5 words which represent places or things, and basically identify their English meaning, English equivalent as well. So we've got that, okay, for each word that you identify. And the purpose of the activities is basically, look, it's about enabling you, it's accelerated learning, so to speak, okay? Because human beings will learn more through what? Through practice than we do by just listening and watching alone. Okay? Human beings, they learn faster and better, and you have more memory retention when you're practicing something. Okay? So that's what the activities is about. It's about enabling you to really absorb the learning through associated and through related activities. Okay? So don't look at it like oh, we're making it difficult. No, it's fun and it's it's enjoyable. But it's about remember the objective of this module and of this course. And our promise to you is what we're saying at the end of the 12-week learning period, you are going to be able to what? Form Yoruba sentences. You are going to be able to what? Learn how to write and spell out Yoruba words. That's a learning objective. So all the courses, all the modules have been designed with that objective in mind. Okay, it's fun, but it's also accelerated learning. We really want people to learn and to understand, to be able to use this. Because what's the point in learning this? And after week 10, you've just come and you've just watched and you've just listened, but you cannot actually learn it. You cannot put this into practice. It would be a waste of time, wouldn't it? It would be a waste of time. And we're not here to waste your time, and we hope you're not here to waste your time or ours either. Okay? And if we keep in mind that this module, this course has actually, how did it come about? It comes through people requesting this. People coming on my live when I'm reading different books. I'm reading the Orinu book, and some of the readers are saying, oh, how I wish I could use, what I could pronounce these words, how I wish the affirmations and the invocations, I could say them in Yoruba language. So that's the reason we're here, is because people requested it. People showed interest in it. Okay? So the idea is at the end of the 10 to 12 week period or program, you are going to be able you would have learned enough. You would have done enough for you to be able to pronounce Yoruba words, understand Yoruba words, and being able to speak and write it as well. Okay? Not all of it, but you should know enough to be able to write some words and obviously and speak it as well. Okay, so let's practice some sentences using some of the words that we've identified here. Let's start putting them into sentences. So, examples of sentences. Okay? So when we say èmi ni, what does that mean? It means it is me. It is me. Or abbreviated, it's me. Èmi ni. Okay? If I'm saying, oh, who did that over there? Who said that over there? Èmi ni, it is me. Okay? It is me. Or if I want to use, remember, from the words we learned earlier, we had ọ̀rẹ́. Ọ̀rẹ́ meaning what? Ọ̀rẹ́ meaning my friend. So if I want to say my friend, or ọ̀rẹ́ meaning friend, but if I want to say my friend, what do I say? Ọ̀rẹ́ mi, which means my friend. So, èmi, in this instance, is the same when you say me. That means èmi means me, and me also means mine or my. Okay, so ọ̀rẹ́ mi means my friend. Okay, ọ̀rẹ́ mi. This ọ̀rẹ́ here is what? It's friend. And then me means my or mine. Okay? My friend. Ọ̀rẹ́ mi. So, or I could say, ìwọ ni ọ̀rẹ́ mi, which will translate as, you are my friend. Okay? So if I put ìwọ ni, ìwọ, ìwọ ni ọ̀rẹ́ mi, ọ̀rẹ́ mi, ìwọ ni ọ̀rẹ́ mi. Ìwọ ni ọ̀rẹ́ mi. Then at that point, what have we just done? That means you are, so this is you are my friend. So this would just be Y-O-U-A-R-E, my friend. So we've gone from èmi, which is me, ni, which is èmi, ni, which is it is me, and we've gone from that, we've gone to ìwọ ni, which means it is you. Ìwọ ni ọ̀rẹ́ mi, that then means you are my friend. Okay? Shall we try one more? Let's try one more using ilé, or we can even use ilé ìwé. So let's start with ilé. Ilé, okay. I can say, so ilé, what does ilé mean again? Do you remember? What's the meaning of ilé? What does it mean? Do you remember? Ilé, we've seen it up here, it means house, right? But if we say, and we said ilé ìwé, when we combine these two, it means ilé ìwé. So if we say ìwé next to it, what does that change to? It means school, right? Because we said ile meaning house and iwe meaning book. That denotes school. We can then say ile iwe. We can say awa ni ile iwe, which is now saying we are in ile iwe. We are at school. Awa ni ile iwe. The literal translation will be awa. Awa. Awa ni ile iwe. Ile iwe. So what does that tell us? Iwe. That means we are at school or we are in school. We. So this are is basically saying we. Okay? It's basically saying we. Our. Our. Our ni ile iwe. Our ni ile iwe. Our ni ile iwe, which means we are in school. So this is we. Because if you were only talking about yourself, what would you use? You would say me. Or mo wa ni ile iwe. Okay? So we are saying awa ni ile iwe, which means there's more than one. We are in school. Because ile iwe is what? School. So awa ni ile iwe, which means we are in school. Or you may also say awa ni ile, because if it's just stopping at ni ile, then what does that mean? Ni ile would just mean house, because there is no iwe. If you exclude iwe, okay, and you just calling it ile, you put iwe, meaning book, that's when it changes to what? To school. Okay? Awa ni ile iwe. And I also said, when you're referring to more than one person, it's plural. Then you say awa. If it's just yourself, one person, you would say mowa. Okay? If you are only referring to yourself in that instance, you would say mowa. But because it's more than one person, it's awa ni ile iwe. Okay? So awa ni ile iwe. If it was just awa ni ile, then it would mean we are at home. Okay? So yeah, obviously in the workbook there are additional examples in there. But yeah, there are additional examples in there, as you can see. So in Yoruba language, this is how we formulate sentences. So we've taken individual words and we're starting to combine them. Ile iwe meaning school. You know, awa meaning atiwa. That means we are. Okay, we are. Meaning we, because like I said, it's plural, it's more than one person. Wa, which means where you are, your state at the moment, your position. Okay? Ni is in. Ni in Yoruba means ni, which is a short for ninu, the full. If you go for the root word, when you hear ni, mowa, nibi, mowa, nile, is usually like this. If you're writing it out in full, it would be like this. Ni, nu, ni, nu, Okay? But in modern speak, the most common application you're going to say is they're going to say ni a lot. Sometimes you're going to say hey, ninu, but majority of the time people are going to shorten it. They're just going to say ni, but it means the same thing, which means inside. Which means inside. So ni is what you're going to hear a lot, which means in. Okay? Awa ni ile iwe. That means we are in school or we are at school. Okay? So which brings us to the ending of what we're doing here. We're using places and things. We've identified individual wordings. There are a lot more examples in the workbook. And we are starting to what? To formulate sentences. Talking about what? Words and meanings. And we're starting using places and things. Okay? We're going to move on to lesson 4 for today's module. We're going to be moving on to lesson 4. I'm going to have to clear the board. So if anyone wants to take any screenshot, this is the time to do it. Let's give us a minute for those who would like to take a screenshot. Okay, and it's going to be going, going, gone. Let's make some room. Everyone, please continue power tapping and sharing the live. Let's keep the engagement going. We don't want TikTok to throw us out once more. So let's keep TikTok happy. Let's keep TikTok happy. I'm going to keep the framework in here actually. Do, re, mi. I think we should always keep this one handy. The framework, we should always keep it handy so that, you can continue using that as your reference point. Okay? So what do we have next? We're going to be talking about gender, plurals, and possession. So how do we represent gender? How do we represent plural? And how do we represent possessions? Okay? In Yoruba language, how do we represent gender, plurals, and possessions? Okay? So we're going to start with what? Genderless nouns. Okay? In Yoruba, doesn't assign gender to gender like he or she. Okay? The context is what lets you know if the person is talking about or he or she. The context is what carries that, okay, in the Yoruba language, okay? Sometimes when you're talking about plural, which means you're referring to more than one person, remember, we saw an example of that earlier. When in the sentence we formulated, it says, awa, which means we are. And I said, if it was just me, I would say, mo wa, ni ile iwe. If it was just you, I would say o wa, because o means you in Yoruba language. But when you are talking to somebody who's older, an elderly person that you wanna display or convey respect, you won't say o wa, you will say e wa, which is plural. But in Yoruba language, we use e for somebody who's older, or to basically to project respect, and respect to the person that you're speaking to, or to the person you're speaking of. Okay? Bear with me a second. Everyone, please, let's continue to power tap and share the live. It's very important. Like I said, TikTok is going to do its thing, and I'm not going to know it because I'm using a front-facing camera. Okay? So, yeah. So, we're going to be looking at some examples. So, when you want to say plural, we've got different plural markers. You can say, in Yoruba, we have what? Genderless nouns. Genderless nouns. Okay? Because whether I'm talking to a man or a woman and I'm using a noun, is genderless. Okay? Yoruba, we don't have no he or she. Okay? In the Yoruba language, we don't have any he or she. It is the context which reveals whether you're talking about a male or female character. Okay? It is context driven. Context driven. It is context driven. Unless you call it out that, oh, bàbá yẹn ló lọ síbẹ̀ yẹn, or ìyá mi ló gbé síbẹ̀ yẹn. You see, now you're completely like saying it is that man, it is that woman, okay? But we don't have he or she in Yoruba language. Okay? The context decides whether the person you're referring to is a male or female. Okay? We also have what they call plural markers. Like I said earlier, we use, okay, so if I say we have what they call plural markers. Such as what? We saw one earlier when I said ah. When I said awa. You saw that earlier when I said awa ní ilé ìwé. It is the which gives it away, which basically reveals that I'm talking about one person inside the school, or one person, more than one person rather. I'm talking about more than one person inside the school, or I'm talking about more than one person inside the house. Okay. But alternatively, you can also say àwọn. Okay, you can say àwọn. Okay, which is do re. So to what we're doing with that, we are basically denoting that what we are referring to, the subject is in plural. Okay, it is not singular, it is plural. Okay, or an example would be like I said earlier, or more, when we were going through the words earlier, okay, words and meanings, we said of places or things or people, what did we say? We said or more means child or baby, right? Okay, but if you want to say more than one child, which is, in children, what do you say? You will say àwọn, which is what? Ọmọ. You would say àwọn ọmọ. You would then say àwọn ọmọ. So this is how you demonstrate plurality in Yoruba language. This àwọn is basically saying there's more than one. So this is how you identify more than one. Okay? And we know ọmọ means child. When you combine the two, you say àwọn ọmọ equals what? Children. Okay? Is that making sense? Because we're getting into word combinations now and formulating sentences. Is it making sense? Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you have any questions, because we're getting into combining different words. We've gone from letters, which is A, B, D, A, F, E, G, B. He, E, G, K, L, M, N, O, O, P, R, C, Sh, T, U, W, Y. We've gone from that to what? Combining words. Combining letters in order to what? To formulate words. Okay? We are now progressing to combining letters to formulate what? Sentences or phrases. Okay? So that's where we are now. And we are now identifying that in Yoruba language, it uses a lot of genderless nouns because there is no he or she. It's because the language, when it comes to whether you're talking about a male or female, unless you're saying father or mother, the rest of it is going to be determined by what? The context. Because it's context driven. Okay? So we're now talking about plural markers here. Is which we saw earlier when I said àwa ní ilé or àwa ní ilé ìwé. And we've also got àwọn, which means more than one. Okay? Which means more than one.
Last question.
Go ahead.
I won. The R, which is the capital A,
Yeah.
represents plurality. So, so the one, the WON is actually, what does that actually mean?
It means one means more than one. One, that means day. Okay. It means more than. We're not just saying more than one. We are also talking in third person.
Okay.
Remember when I said on itself means I'm included in that. When I say àwa or àwa, that means I'm included in that. But if it's in third person, then you can say àwọn, like I say àwọn ọmọ, that means the children, I'm not included in them. I can say àwọn ọmọ. If I were to say àwa ọmọ, I'm going to be saying what? Àwa. If I'm included in that, and it's not, I'm not speaking about in third person, I'm going to be saying àwa. Get it?
Yes.
This is still more than one. It's a very, very good question. So good question and very good observation. Okay? So yeah, you could go this way. If you are talking about yourself and others, you can go this way. If you are talking about other people. Okay? Like for example, I'm talking about the children. I'm talking about children. Or I could say àwa àgbà. Okay? I can say àwa, which means I'm included in that. It's more than one, but I'm including myself. And I can say àwa àgbà. Which means what? Adults. It can mean we adults. Okay? Àwa means we. Àwọn means they or them. Am I making sense?
Yes.
Okay, but very, very good question, just me. Very good question and very good observation. Okay? Because there are nuances to the application of that there are nuances to it. So you could say as in I'm involved in that. That means àjọ ṣe, àjọ wà, àjọ gbé. Or you could say àwọn, which means I'm standing here and I'm referring to others. So children, àwọn ọmọ, adults, of which I'm included, I would say àwa àgbà. Okay? In that instance, I would say àwa àgbà because I'm not talking in third person now. I am involved. I am included in the group I'm talking about. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So
You may have to do that as a list because I'm not going to remember that the minute I leave this list.
Well, it should be in the module.
The way how you broke it down,
You mean like this?
yes, it's very well explained. So you may need to put it as a note, as a footnote or something that we can get it.
Okay, yeah, I can definitely do that. I'm glad you found that useful. So what I can do is I'll put that in the footnote. Okay. I'll put that in the footnote. Okay. So yeah. Do you have any other questions? Others may come up, by the way.
Not at the moment, no. That's it.
That's it. Okay. If we have anyone else who would like to come up, then send a request. Okay. If anyone else would like to come up, please send a request. Okay. Olóyè of mi dẹ̀ rí orúkọ yín dáadáa o. Olóyè ṣẹ́ṣì wà pẹ̀lú wa mo ṣe bá jú nílọ o. Yeah, if anyone else would like to come up, please feel free to do so. Okay?
I can't sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Shani Berry, sir.
Pardon? Say that again, sir?
Shani Berry, have you got any questions?
No. I'm just along. I'm liking this because I want to improve my Yoruba as well. So yeah, this is good for me. So I'm just in the class.
Okay, now welcome aboard and welcome to Yoruba Learning Academy. Okay?
Yes, yes, sir.
Welcome on board. We're happy to have you. So yeah. So like I said, so àwọn ọmọ means children. Àwa àgbà means, you know, I'm not only speaking in third person, I'm including myself in that, means àwa àgbà. Àgbà is a Yoruba word for adult. Okay? We adults. Okay? And then you could have other examples of that. Could be, so when you have àwa or àwọn, and you want to put something else in there, you could say, ilé mi, which means my house. Which, again, you want to identify yourself. And I think we've done that already, but you could say something like, okay, a difference. Let me call out some differences. In singular, or plural. As an example, if I want to say ilé mi, I would say ilé, which we know means what? House. Ilé mi. Ilé mi, which means house. But ilé is the house, but me is what? What is me again? Do you remember? When I say it's me, when you see me, what does that mean? It means mine or my. When you see me, that's what it means. What's going on here? Okay. Yeah, that's a bit better. My house. So me is how you represent yourself, which is singular. But if you want to talk about, if you want to pluralize this, what do you say? Then it becomes what? You still have your ile, meaning house. But instead of me, you say ile wa, which means this is house, and this is wa, which means hours. Which means hours. Ile means again house, right? So if you want to say our house, you say ile wa, which. But if you're speaking in third person, what do you say? If you're speaking in third person, you're saying their, their house. What do you say? You would say third person. So if it's a third person speech, you say ile what? Ilé wọn. Ilé wọn. Or ilé àwọn. Or ilé wọn. You can say either ilé àwọn or ilé wọn, which means I am not included. I am, this the people I'm talking about. I'm not included in this group. In this subject matter, I am not involving myself in that. So I would say ilé wọn, which means I'm talking about them. It's their house. But if I'm included, I would say ilé wa. You see, wa means I'm included in that group I'm talking about. Wa means I'm not included. I'm referring to others. I'm referring to other people. Okay?
Could you put so like ilé wa? Could you put it the other way around as Waile?
No. No, you couldn't, because Yoruba, it doesn't work like that. You see, if you did that, that means you're learning Yoruba in reverse. That means you're trying to convert the English into Yoruba.
Okay.
And that's the wrong approach, is to learn Yoruba and then try to understand English. I know it's a difficult one because you've already learned English. You are already familiar with English. So it's difficult to say switch off your English mind and then focus on the Yoruba meaning and the way that we form sentences in Yoruba. It's a tricky one, I know. But that's the rule. You cannot say, oh, because it's ile me, that means house me, that me house or my, no, house my, no. It wouldn't work with it.
Okay. Then.
Okay? Because it's Yoruba. Yoruba is a language and it's in its own right. And it actually predates English language. But it just so happens that we're learning it and, from the position of we already have familiarity to English language. So you're wondering, why is it in reverse? I understand that, but that's the way Yoruba sentences are formed. And it's not in reverse per se, because the Yoruba language came before the English language. If you know the history of, of both languages and the history of the people as well. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So the Yoruba people and the Yoruba language predates the English people and English language. We're talking about thousands of years. Okay? Thousands of years. That's what we're talking about here. And I've done that before in one of my lectures. We looked at the history, and obviously they are, for instance, just a quick example, we're going to move away from that shortly. The English calendar is in year 2025, right? The Gregorian calendar is in year 2025. The Yoruba calendar is in year, I believe it's 16,078. 16,060, is it 68? Either 68 or 78, either one of the two. Can you process that for a second? The Yoruba calendar is in year 16,000.
July or June.
Sorry?
The Yoruba New Year's in July or June, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and the calendar year is in 16,000, not 2,000. The English is in 2025, right?
Yes, definitely. We're ancient people.
Ancient people, yes, absolutely. And obviously, we're talking about since the calendar started getting documented now, the people existed way before they started documenting and they started formalizing a calendar.
Yes.
So we're saying Yoruba people, they've had a calendar system since 16,000 years ago. Okay, so yeah, we are an ancient people, and Yoruba language is an ancient language. Okay, so yeah, so I hope this is making sense. So when you're talking about yourself, you use me. When you're talking about yourself and others, you use a or awa. When you're talking about others, if it's one person, you say o, or you can say o wa níbẹ̀ yẹn. She o ti dé, that means have you arrived. She o ti she, that means have you done it. You say one person. I'm only talking to you, a singular person. But when you're talking to more than one person, what do you say? You say ẹ̀yin. You use which means ẹ̀yin, that means you people. Or you use àwọn, if it's in third person, you say what? Àwọn, that means those people. Okay? If I'm saying you people, I would say ẹ̀yin, I will put the in front of it. We had earlier, it would look like this. Actually, why don't I write it on the board? Singular. Other examples of it is o. Okay? So that means I'm saying you. I'm saying you, I'm talking to you. Or I could say, but if it's plural, I would say what? Or ẹ̀yin. If I'm saying it's plural, but sometimes, remember what I said earlier, a language, Yoruba language is a language of what? A language of reverence, a language of respect. When we are talking about an elderly person, we use which is the same lettering that's used for for more than one person. When we're talking about an elderly person, we say, like if I want to say my mother now, if I want to say thank you, I would say she instead of saying oh she, because oh is you, right? But if I'm referring to an elderly person, like my mother or my father, I am not going to say oh, I am going to switch it up. In that instance, I am going to say it's just a reverence. It's the way that we give reverence and we project respect to an elderly person in Yoruba speech. But or ẹ̀yin means what? That means I'm talking about more than one person or an elderly person. Okay? Ẹ̀yin. But when I'm now talking about people like others, I'm not talking about someone directly in front of me. It's not in third person. It's not in first person speech, which is O. It's not in second person speech, which is or ẹ̀yin, because I'm still talking. It's from A to B. If I'm now referring to people that are not in my presence, I am now going to be using what? Àwọn, because I'm saying others, those people, them over there. Okay? Then it's going to be what? Àwọn. Okay? Àwọn. I'm saying them over there. Okay? But if I'm saying us, I'm now including myself now, then I'm going to be using what? Our. Remember, I am going to be using our if I am now included in that subject matter, in that demographic. I am going to be saying our. Okay? So, yeah. So, we've got some, for those who have registered for the program, and those who have received the week 2 course material, in the workbook, there is an exercise at this point in week 2, lesson 4. There is an exercise which is, I think it's 4 in total. At this point, you are supposed to then be using your workbook to then be trying to say, when you're saying my friend, how do you say my friend? How do you say my friend in Yoruba? Just me. I know you've received the workbook. If you're still with us, everyone, please power tap and share the live. Like I said, I'm using a front-facing camera. I am not going to see any TikTok notification. So when TikTok start noticing low activity, it's going to give a warning, sometimes a warning or a puzzle. But I don't have the liberty of seeing that because I'm literally, I can't see what's going on the screen. My screen is facing the other way. Okay? So let's keep the engagement going by just tapping the like and, as we go. So, sorry?
Oremi.
Oremi, my friend will be Oremi. Okay? So if you say my friend.
Oremi.
Yeah, Oremi. Because if it's Ore, we're not going to have a dash, we're not going to have a bottom tonal mark, will we?
No.
Oremi. 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 So which is what? My friend. My friend. Oremi. Oremi. My friend. Oremi. Okay? And if you want to say, let's try another one. Let's try our mother. Our mother. So what do we have there? Our mother. How do we use our? Remember, wa, because I am now talking in that I am, including myself in that demographic. in that target subject. I am including myself. I am involved in that. So I am saying our mother. And the sound of that word actually gives it away. Mother is iya.
Our iya. Our iya.
Iya awa. Yes.
Iya our.
Yes. Iya awa. But most of the time, you're going to hear people abbreviate it as iya. Iyawa. Like this. Okay? But if you're breaking it down, the root words should be iyawa. But when people are saying it and it's been in speech, it's going to sound like iyawa. Okay? People are they're not going to repeat the second will not be repeated. It's just going to be rolled into iyawa. But the real, representation is Iyawa, but most people, when you're hearing the modern speak, it's going to sound like Iyawa, 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 but really it's Iyawa. That means our mother, okay?
I don't want to confuse anything, yeah? But how would you say mum come? Mother come?
Okay, mother come, mom come. But usually you wouldn't say mom come. Mom come meaning iyami ewa, or iyami emabo.
Okay.
You say iyami ewa. Remember what I said? You see, we're using let me write that down over here. Wa awa is different from ewa. Very different. So awa means ours, that means us or we, is different from ewa, meaning come. I'm saying an elderly person, please come. Iyawa ewa or iyami ewa, iyami emabo. Iyami ewa means ewa. Ewa equals come. And remember what I said about the usage of is plural, but in Yoruba language, because it's a language of reference, it's a language of reverence and respect. We also use that for somebody older, like an elderly person. Okay? We're going to be using wa means come. But if it was just a person, maybe or younger to myself, and I'm talking about one person, you're going to be saying, you're just going to say wa. You're just going to say wa, which means come. Because you're talking to either more than one person or older. You're going to use the in front of it. If you're just talking to your child or your younger brother or sister, you would just say wa, which means come. But if you're talking to your mother, an elderly person whom you respect, in Yoruba language, we definitely respect our elders, or you're talking to more than one person, you're going to say ewa. Okay? Ewa. Then we already have iya. So iyami ewa. It would then go iyami ewa. That means my mother, please come or kindly come. So we have iyami which is how you represent a plural or an elderly person. Wa meaning come. Okay? Iyami ewa, or alternatively, you could also say iyami emabo. Emabo means come with me. Like, yeah, come with me, come here. Iyami emabo. So instead of iyami you say ma bo. Bo. Iyami emabo, which means my mother, come with me. Come here. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay? So my friend is Oremi. If I'm talking about our mother, what did I say? Ìyá wa. And then if you're saying, their child, you will say ọmọ wọn. Ọmọ wọn. Their child is ọmọ wọn. That means I'm talking about others. One, you see, I'm applying what? I'm applying this again. I'm utilizing this, which means it's a third person speech. Right? So when I'm using one, when you're using one, you're talking about other people. If you're using me, that means you're included. If you're using that means you're included in that demographic. Okay? But when you're using one, you're saying them. You're talking in third person. But if you're talking to somebody in second person, you're going to say that means that means I'm talking about you and the rest. You and others. Okay? And if you're talking about his house, you will say ilé wọn. Remember what I said earlier? In Yoruba language, it's context driven. We don't have he or she. Okay? And we don't have his or hers. So no he or she or his and hers in Yoruba language. The context is what determines whether you're talking about a male person or a female person. Okay? So if you want to say, I am going to his house, you're not going to be able to say that in Yoruba language in that same format. Okay? You're not going to be able to say, oh, I am going to his house and have a word for his or her. No. In Yoruba language, the context is going to determine whether you're talking about a male person or you're going to say, mo lọ sílé ọkùnrin yẹn, which means I am going to that man's house, or mi lọ sílé obìnrin yẹn, which means, I remember when we were talking about the gender, you're going to be saying, I am going to that girl or that woman's house. So there is no he or his, and there is no her or she. Does that make sense? That's a key thing to note for today's module. Okay, that's a very, very fundamental thing to note. Okay, so if anyone would like to take a screenshot or ask any question, this is the right time. If you've got any question for what we've just been learning here, please feel free to unmute. Or if you would like to capture a screenshot, please go ahead and do that. Iyami Dara Iresimi, thanks for joining us. I hope you're well, Iyawa. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. Who else is joined? Q. Alagbe, thanks for joining us. Abami Q. Acoustics Oracle, thanks for joining us, sir. And Moturayo 2023, Iyami Mosheba Junilo, thanks for joining us. If anyone else would like to come up, then please feel free, send a request. And Evolve in March said, okay, yes, absolutely. I didn't even realize it. Iyami Kemi, I didn't realize you're with us. Welcome on board, welcome. Okay, there you go. I'm just reading the comments now. You were saying there is no he's, no he's, no he, his, and there is no she or hers. Correct. Correct. In Yoruba language. Okay? The context is what determines whether you're talking about a male person or a female person. Iyami Kemi, I hope you're well. Thanks for joining us.
I'm doing well. Hope you're doing well too.
Yeah, very good.
And in the thread.
Yeah, I know it's quite early at your end. Good morning to you. It's afternoon over here. So yeah. Okay, excellent, excellent. So Iyawa or Iyawa means our mother. Our mother means ìyá wa. If you want to say our father, what do you say? You say what? Baba wa. Instead of ìyá, what do you say? You say baba. It becomes baba at that point. Because baba equals father. Okay? Baba means father. Okay? Ọ̀rẹ́ means friend. If you want to say my friend, you say ọ̀rẹ́ mi. Okay? That means I'm now saying my friend. Okay? And if you want to say, if you want to talk about other people, a demographic which doesn't include yourself, you say what? That's how you identify a demographic which doesn't include you. You're not talking about other people now. You're talking in, that's third person speech. Okay? Should we try some further examples of sentence formulation? Let's try other examples of sentence formulation. Don't worry if you haven't taken a screenshot. Lesson 1 and 2. Last week's lesson is already on our YouTube channel. For those who missed it, feel free to, you can definitely go back and watch that on our YouTube channel, Yoruba Publishing. So lesson 1 is on our YouTube channel, Yoruba Publishing. Lesson 2 is going to be put on there as well, but that's as far as it's going to go. So lesson 1 and lesson 2 are going to be published on our YouTube channel. Definitely, if not today, then by tomorrow. So don't worry if you missed the start of this lecture, you can definitely go back and watch it and recover what you've missed from our YouTube channel. So what we're going to do now, we're going to play with some examples. More examples of sentence formulation. Yeah? Of what? Sentence formations. Okay? So what do we have? We can say èmi ń jẹun. Remember, when you say èmi, what are you saying there? You're saying you, right? Èmi, that means you're talking about yourself. That means you're saying èmi means I. You're talking about yourself. I, the big I. Èmi ń jẹun. Jẹun means I am eating. Okay? Èmi ń jẹun means I am eating. Okay? So èmi, again, that means I. And if you remember what I said earlier, so if I was talking about other people, someone else, what would I say? Instead of èmi, what would it mean? What would I use instead? So if I'm talking about you, an elderly person, or if I'm talking about more than one person and I'm saying they're eating, what would I say there? I would say ẹ̀yin ń jẹun, because I'm talking about you and others. Either I'm talking about an elderly person and I'm trying to project respect as we do in Yoruba language. What would I say there? I would say ẹ̀yin ń jẹun. Or if I'm talking about, in third person speech, I'm talking about other people who are not in my presence right now. What would I say then? I would say àwọn ń jẹun. That means one jẹun. That means those people over there, they are eating. But in this instance, I'm saying èmi ń jẹun, which means I am eating. Okay? Èmi means I. And that you see here, that ni, is how you're identifying yourself in the process of doing something. I am in the process of doing èmi ń jẹun, okay? Jẹun, eating. But èmi means I or I am, okay? And if you're talking about others, like I said, if I'm talking about someone else, I'll say ẹ̀yin ń jẹun. I'm talking to someone else, I'm saying ẹ̀yin jẹun. Or if I'm talking about others who are not in my vicinity, I will say wọ́n jẹun or àwọn jẹun. Okay? Shall we try a couple more? If I want to say ìwọ, ìwọ ló gbé. I'm talking about you now. Ìwọ, remember wọ́n ló gbé. Okay? Ìwọ ló gbé. That means it is you who carried it. Okay? It could be it is you who carried it. When you say gbé, that means to lift something. To carry or to lift something. Ìwọ ló gbé. So ìwọ means it is you. Lo, that means who carried it. That means it was you. That means ìwọ ló gbé. You are the person who basically carried out the action. Okay? So ìwọ ló gbé breaks down into ìwọ ló gbé. That means you who did it. Ìwọ ló gbé. It is you who carried it. If I say ìwọ ló ní, that means it is you who owns it. Or if I say ìwọ ló ṣe, that means it is you who's done it. Okay? So ìwọ, so when you're saying ìwọ, you're talking to somebody. You're saying you done it. I'm saying it was you. It is you, or it was you. Okay? If I'm talking about other people in third person speech, it's going to be what? Àwọn. Because I'm talking about people that's not in my demographic now. They're not even in my presence right now. So I'm speaking about them in third person speech. I would say àwọn. But if I'm speaking about myself and others, it would be what? Àwa. Because I am now including myself in the subject demographic. I would say àwa. Okay, so again, it's important. So lesson week 2 is about helping people to understand what? Words and meanings. How to apply gender, plural, and possessions. Okay? In addition to that, we are also utilizing first person speech, second person speech, and third person speech. Okay? So E means I'm speaking to someone else, one person. If I want to speak about, if it's more than one person, and I want to say it was you and others who carried it. So what would I say here instead? This E becomes what? Becomes what? Ye. Mostly combined together, by the way, mostly combined together. It becomes ẹ̀yin instead of O again, because I am identifying it's more than one person, or it's an elderly person. Like I said earlier, Yoruba language is a language of what? It's a language of tonality, 100%. Okay, which is why I've got a tonal accent at the bottom of the air here. But it is also a language of reverence. So if I'm speaking about an elderly person, or I'm speaking about more than one person, then that means I'm using that air. The air is what identifies, is what separates a singular person from a plural, or with more than one person, multiple people. Okay? Is that air? But like I said in Yoruba, we also use the air for an elderly person, just as a mark of respect. Okay? So I would be saying in that instance, ẹ̀yin lẹ what? Ẹ̀yin lẹ gbé. which means I could be referring to a singular person that's elder, that's of an elderly character. I could be saying it was you who carried it, but I could also be saying it is you guys, you people who carried it. Symbolizing what? More than one person. That means it's you people who carried it. Okay? Either you people or what? You elder. Okay? So that represents either more than one person, which means you people, or an elderly person. That's just Yoruba language. In English language, they don't have that. They don't have that. It doesn't work like that. Steve is Steve and Mary is Mary. Steve might be 90 years of age. Steve could be 10 years of age. When you're talking about Steve in English language, it's just Steve. You did it, Steve. Steve, it was you who done it. Or you did it, Mary, regardless of their ages. But in Yoruba language, like I said, it's a language of reverence. It's a language of respect. We identify an elderly person with plurality. With plurality. That's how we identify what? An elderly person. Okay? We pluralize our language when you're talking about an elderly person, just to project respect, to identify that person as an elder, to identify seniority, basically. Okay? I hope that's making sense. Okay? I think that's more than enough for week 2. There is a lesson 6 in there. I could keep going, but I think we've covered a lot of grounds already. In the workbook, as well as the PowerPoint slide that's been sent out to the registered students, you will see there's a lesson 6 in there, which provides a bit of a cultural insight and reflection. Because in there, I put a proverb in there, which says, "Ọ̀rọ̀ ni ẹ̀mí ènìyàn." What does that mean in English? It means words are the breath of a person. Words are the breath of a person. Apart from what? Apart from motion, how else do we identify a person who's alive? It's through their words. They speak. Okay, the living speak. So we in Yoruba language and in Yoruba culture, we really are mastering your words and being able to convey your thoughts effectively. It's something that we have a great appreciation for. I think most languages have a good appreciation for it, but Yoruba language is deep. It's got layers. It's deep. Okay. So yeah, ọ̀rọ̀ ni ẹ̀mí ọmọ ènìyàn. That means words are the breath of a person, the breath of a human. Okay? So in Yoruba thought, speech carries what? Àṣẹ. For those who have been attending my lectures, especially when we've been dealing with what? Especially when we've been exploring the Ori Inu book. Yeah? In one of the chapters, this book speaks about Àṣẹ. What is Àṣẹ? Àṣẹ is spiritual power conveyed in Yoruba language. Okay? So Yoruba is what? Is an ancient language of spirituality. So Àṣẹ is basically the power. Is it's like the affirmation. Is the power in your speech. Okay? It's the spiritual power that Yoruba language carries. Okay? So, yeah. So, in Yoruba thought, in Yoruba cosmology, speech carries Àṣẹ. Àṣẹ wà nínú ohùn wa. That means Àṣẹ is in our voice. Okay? Because if you know the history of Yoruba people, we are called as Ọmọ Irúnmọlẹ̀. Ọmọ Irúnmọlẹ̀. And who are the Irúnmọlẹ̀? The Irumoles are the primordial spirits that Olodumare sent into the world to develop the world. Ọmọ Irúnmọlẹ̀ ni wá, ọmọ òrìṣà ni ọmọ Yorùbá, which means you're a Yoruba person when you see them, and Yoruba language is not just words. The words have power behind it. They have spiritual words, spiritual reverence, spiritual power behind Yoruba words, which is why Yoruba, when they say affirmations or invocations, which you could say in the Abrahamic religion says, when they say prayer, Yoruba prayers are not just words that you're saying, that you're begging for your words to be blessed. No, in your word, in your speech, carries what? Carries power. Because Yoruba speech, in your words, in your tone, carries ashe. Okay? I hope that's making sense. Which is why words has deeper meaning in Yoruba language. It is not just words, it is not just languages, it's got power behind it. It's got ashe behind it. So speaking correctly is not only communication in Yoruba language. It is an expression of character, an expression of what? Energy, as well as an expression of what? Identity. Okay? So it's important to understand the meaning of the word, so that for whatever scenario, for whatever situation you're in, you'll be able to apply the correct word in order for you to be what? To invoke the correct meaning. Okay? Because Yoruba language is a language of invocation. It's a language of affirmation. Even when you're not deliberately trying to invoke or affirm anything, but in using the language just for communication alone, trust me, you got ashe behind it. You are saying a lot of things that has spiritual power. I hope that's clear. It's important that you understand that in Yoruba language. It's important you understand that. Okay? So, at this point in week 2 lecture, there is Yoruba words that make you feel strong, peaceful. There is basically an activity at this point. We're just saying Yoruba words that makes you feel strong, peaceful, or connected. We are asking the students at this point to basically identify Yoruba words that make you feel strong, peaceful, happy. Do we have anyone? Should we give the activity, should we give it a go very quickly? Should we spend 5 minutes on that, or are people happy with today's lecture? Do we want to conclude here? Huh?
It's my first time in the class, so I don't
You don't have any preference?
know.
Okay.
You're a teacher, and what word would I use for as like to address you? Not just Réré. What's a teacher? What's a proper way to address a teacher?
It would be Oluko. So Oluko meaning teacher.
Oluka.
Oluko. And Akeko
Akeko.
meaning student or learner. Which is why it's important that you understand the meaning so that you can apply the right word, the right term for the in the right situation, in the right circumstances. Okay? So yeah. So what are the words which brings peace in Yoruba language? Just to use that as an example, we're going to say Iba. Iba, like I said, Yoruba is a language of what? A language of reverence. Okay? So when we say Iba, that means you're paying homage, you're giving reverence to the person that you're speaking to. Ìyá mi just me. Ìbà. Every time, what do I say? I say ìbà. Ìyá mi ṣe dáadáa ni mo ṣe bá jù ní lọ. That means I am paying homage. I am paying reverence to you. Ìyá mi kẹ́ mi ṣe dáadáa ni àbọ̀rú àbọ̀yè o mo ṣe bá o.
Ogbo ato ashuri awori wofo.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Fún àwọn bàbá mi tó wà nínú comment section náà, for the men, mo ṣe bá ọkùnrin o, mo ṣe bá obìnrin. That means I pay homage. I give reverence to the man. I give reverence to the woman. So when we say mo ṣe bá àwọn ìyá, that means I am paying reverence to my mother. But it is not just your personal mother when you're doing that. In Yoruba language, when we say mo ṣe bá àwọn obìnrin, mo ṣe bá àwọn ìyá mi, that means you're paying reverence to what? Our primordial mothers, which means divine femininity. Okay? Mo ṣe bá àwọn ìyá mi o, àwọn ìyá mi ọ̀pá kẹ́ ọ̀làkẹ́, àwọn ìyá mi ẹyẹ bàgẹ̀bàgẹ̀, àwọn ìyá mi òṣòròǹgà. Because in Yoruba language, not just language, in Yoruba's cosmology, we pay homage to the primordial mothers because we have a belief that before men came into this world, the women were here first. And it's not just ordinary women, by the way. We are talking about, our mothers. Our mother. Do you understand what I'm saying there?
Yes.
Our spiritual mothers, the watchers and the custodian of everything called life.
Yes.
And when you study Ifa, you understand our Yami, our primordial mothers who were here before, all humans, all the other humans were created. So we pay reverence and we pay homage a lot to our Yami, and by extension, women, mothers, daughters, okay? Because they are the representation of our Iyami, our Iyami Oshorunga. Okay, Asheba Junilo. So when we say Iba, that means I am paying homage. I am speaking in reverence, with respect. Okay? What other language projects peace?
What other language projects?
What other words, rather? My apologies. What other words in Yoruba language projects peace?
Projects peace?
Yeah. Peace, comfort, wellness.
Was Ashe one of them?
Ashe means power, means affirmations. Means I affirm. Yeah.
You said Iba.
Iba or Iba. Yeah. Ashe is power. Iba is reverence, respect, reverence, homage.
And did you say Oshe?
Oshe means thanks. That's another word which brings comfort, right? Yes. Absolutely. Oshe means thanks, which means gratitude. Okay? That's another word which brings what? It brings comfort, doesn't it? When you do something for a person and they say, yami kemi eshewu, or, it means that person is acknowledging what you've done. They're thanking you. Okay? It's a peaceful communication. Okay, and also you see what I did there when I was about to say Iyami, I didn't say Oshe. Did you recognize I switched it from O to E?
Oh, now your board is the other way, so we can't see it.
I have to, because people are not power tapping, and I'm not able to see the warning.
Okay.
It's the third time
I was power tapping the whole time I was in here. That's why I didn't understand why it dropped you. It has to be more than one person. I guess it's registering. So would 2 be one? I don't know.
Sorry?
You said what's another word which does what? What's another word that presents coolness? What did you say?
No, I said which another word which projects peace.
Projects peace.
Which projects honor. Which which gives comfort.
Okay.
Yeah, if we say something like Iwa Pele, you see that Pele in Iwa Pele, Iwa means character, but the Pele there means gentle, means balance.
Oh.
The Pele means gentle, means balance, means calmness.
Oh.
Yeah,
What's
It
that
could
word
also
for
mean,
peace?
sorry, go ahead.
I was saying I don't remember the word. Ifa Kombole. Is that Iwa Kombole? Is that a word for peace of mind? I don't know. Maybe I said it wrong. I have to look at my notes.
Oh yeah, Ifokonbale.
Ifo Kombale.
Yes, Ifokonbale means peace of mind.
Peace of
That's a
mind.
very good one, by the way.
Ifo Kombale.
Ifokonbale means peace of mind, means calmness.
Calmness. Yeah, calmness.
Yeah. Okay. And we've also got Omoluabi. We say Yoruba people, we are Omoluabi. That means Omoti Oluwabi. That means the children from what? From the Creator. Okay? But what that implies is a person of honor. So when we say Yoruba, or we are Omoluabi, means, pardon me, a person of honor. But the literal translation of it is Omoluabi, Omoti Oluwabi. We are the creation from God, children of the Creator.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, Omoluabi. So, which is why they say, how do you identify Yoruba person? Let's say I'm in the United States right now, and I'm in the middle of a crowd, and I'm approaching different people, and I'm speaking to different people. Yeah, and I'm saying, hey, hello, how you doing? And I introduce myself, and I'm talking to them. By way of communication, you can identify a Yoruba person, especially if they come from a Yoruba household. How do we identify them? Is through Iwa Pele, okay? Which means their gentle character, positive character, their warmth, and Iwa Omoluabi, the character of the children of the Creator. Omoluabi, which means what? You're going to be getting a lot of reverence in their language. You're going to be getting a lot of love in their language. So when you meet a Yoruba person who doesn't convey love, warmth, and peace, that person is either not a Yoruba person, or that person didn't grow up, wasn't raised in the Yoruba tradition. Okay? Because this is how we identify a Yoruba person. Is that peace, is that love, is that respect, is that reverence. Because that the language, that's the whole point of the language. It's ingrained. You cannot separate, and I said it in week 1 lecture. I said you cannot separate a Yoruba person from their what? From their Iwapele. You cannot separate a Yoruba person from the Iwapele, because Iwapele and Iwamoluabi is the foundation of our cosmology. Just me, please go ahead.
I have a question. What can you do? What affirmations can you use to try to correct flaws of character?
Sorry, do you mean flaws in your own character?
Yes. Whereas
Okay.
we are all human, and we have these inherent flaws that we fight with every day.
Yeah.
And in order to establish good character and to maintain good character, you have to fight. It's a constant struggle. And for me, it is my anger, it is my rage. So I'm speaking to Olodumare all the time about it, because it comes to the forefront, especially when I'm driving. I have terrible
road rage. You're a rager.
Road rage. I become somebody else when I get behind the wheel. I'm sorry.
It comes out in a lot of us, don't it?
Yes.
It comes out when you're driving. It all comes out when you're driving. Yeah.
Yeah. So I need to fix that.
It's something we've all got to work at. You've come to the right place as well, because when in my younger years, I also had anger problems. I'm not gonna lie. I was born with it. Yeah, I was born with it. My grandmother used to say, I must have been offended in my previous incarnation.
Oh.
Because my grandmother used to let me know as soon as you came out the womb, you came out with some serious violent rage. And there are things that they used to say in water and make me drink. It was that bad.
Oh, wow.
My grandmother used to say some affirmations in water every morning and make me drink it. That's how serious my anger was.
Wow.
So
I thought mine was bad.
oh no, yeah. So you've come to the right place, I can tell you. So yeah. So the invocation for fixing that is orí mi, ìṣẹ̀dá mi jọ̀wọ́, ṣe mí ní ìwà pẹ̀lẹ́. Ìṣẹ̀dá mi jọ̀wọ́, ṣe mí ní ìwà pẹ̀lẹ́. Yọ ìbínú yìí kúrò lára mi. Yọ ìbínú yìí kúrò lẹ́mìí mi. And I will translate. Orí mi, that means ìṣẹ̀dá mi. What? My inner consciousness, my orí inú. Ṣe mí ní ìwà pẹ̀lẹ́. Please grant me. Okay? Because you cannot separate a person's behavior from their ori. This is the ori, the character of the ori that you what? That you brought into the world. Okay? In Yoruba, that's where they say, Ori eni liwa eni. That means your head, your type of head, your consciousness is also what? Your character. Okay? So where do you go to fix it? And I can use myself as a testimony, because despite my grandmother's best effort in saying some affirmations in water and making me drink it, despite her best efforts, it didn't stop. I didn't have any control over my anger until what? Until I recognized it within myself, and I started what? I started speaking to myself, and I spoke to the Creator that I don't want to be the anger person anymore. Because by the time I even realized it, by the time I even came to the realization and I recognized it as a flaw, I was already known in the whole neighborhood as that angry person, that aggressive person. I had already earned the reputation by the time I finally started reflecting, having a personal reflection. Before, it was everybody else's problem. I didn't care. But when I finally started reflecting on it, that was when it became my problem as well. So yeah, and then I started speaking to my what? Creator, to my Ishedami, to my Ori Inu. So what do you say there? Ori mi jọ̀wọ́, ṣe mí ní ìwà pẹ̀lẹ́. That means my Ori Inu, my inner consciousness, okay, my divine guide. Please make me what? Of a peaceful character.
Could you say that to me? I need it in Yoruba as well. I need it in Yoruba.
My inner consciousness, my inner consciousness, my what? My divine
guidance.
Right,
I need it in Yoruba.
Oh, okay, don't worry, I'll do that.
My inner consciousness, my divine guidance, please
make me of what? Of a peaceful character.
Peaceful character.
That means Shemini Wakbele. And also what? Jọ̀wọ́, please, your ìwà ìbínú. That means remove the anger, the spirit of anger, or the character of anger. Kúrò nínú ìwà mi. Remove that anger out of my character.
Shemini Iwapwele.
Shemini Iwapwele means what? Grant me what?
Grant me
a peaceful character. Warm character. Then Ori mi jọ̀wọ́, ìṣẹ̀dá mi jọ̀wọ́. That means my Ori, or my divine consciousness.
Right.
When you say your, that means remove, to take out. Your ìwà ìbínú, anger, the behavior of anger, the character of anger, kúrò nínú ìwà mi. That means remove anger away from my character. Or you could say, your ìwà ìbínú kúrò ní ẹ̀mí mi. That means remove that anger away from ẹ̀mí is your life force. It's the energy which you carry. That's your life force. That's your emi. That's the life within the body. The life within the human is the emi. Your ìwà ìbínú, remove the anger, the character of anger. Kúrò nínú ẹ̀mí mi, remove it from my life, from my being.
Beautiful. You got to get to the core of it. You got to get to exactly, because I inherited that, and I noticed that I had to get rid of not only get rid of anger when I started realizing that I was angry about the fact that I was angry.
Oh, that's deep.
You know, but the class cut off when you were telling me a teacher, and the class cut off right when you were saying what a teacher is. Could you go back to that? You wrote it on the board, please.
Yeah. So teacher is olùkọ́.
Olùkọ́.
And the student or learner is akẹ́kọ̀ọ́.
Akẹ́kọ̀ọ́.
Yeah. Everyone, please power tap. Please share the live and power tap. We're just coming to the.
Gebe? Is it Gebe? GBE? Is it? Have you pronounced that Gebe?
No, it's be.
Gebe? GBE?
GBE is be. That means to lift, to carry. Be. Be.
So the G is silent. So you just said be.
It's be. It's not be. This one it takes a bit of practice. I'm not saying. This one is be. You have to practice it. Yeah. This one takes a bit of practice.
Oh Lord!
Because it's quite unique to Yoruba. To be fair, you see it in when you say rugby, for instance. You know the sport, rugby.
Yes.
Some people call it rugby, but it is not rugby. It's actually rugby. But that B is difficult to pronounce if you're not used to it. So you're gonna have to practice it. Okay? So is be means to carry or to uplift.
So gebega,
Bebiga is lift me up, or ibega meaning uplifting.
Okay, that's
okay. Or you can read ibega also means pride. The negative manifestation of pride. When they say somebody is Omahuwa ibega, means that person is prideful.
okay.
It's of a prideful character. So ìwà pẹ̀lẹ́ is the opposite of ìwà ìgbéga. Ìwà pẹ̀lẹ́ means of calm nature, of a warm and loving and respectful nature. Ìwà ìgbéga is of a, you're gas, you're snobbish, you're rude, you're outlandish, you're prideful.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not humble.
I'm glad I don't have that.
Yeah, we don't want that. So yeah, but so what I'll do, just me, I'll send you as you requested the affirmation. I'll send it to you via. We've got your email. I can send it to you either via email, so that you've got that in both Yoruba and English as well.
So I have a question.
Thank you.
For the people who register for your sessions, I didn't see anything when I went to the bio, and I just want to know where would I find out the registration and paying for? Do I get a book? Do I get a notebook or a email of a format? What is it?
Yeah, so basically, once you've registered, obviously you get a confirmation and all of that. But for the registered learners or students, we also send out the course packs. Obviously, we send the module which provides a detailed outline of the overview of the course that you're signing up to from week 1 to week 12. Yeah?
Okay.
But in addition to that, on a weekly basis, you are also going to receive there's a PowerPoint of the weekly lectures as well as the workbook. Because inside the workbook, what you're going to find is there are at different stages in different modules, there are like practice activities in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what week or what session are you on? What number?
This is week 2. This is week 2.
This is week 2,
Yeah.
and
yeah. So we said week 1 and week 2, we're going to hold the lectures publicly to get participation, to give people a bit of an idea of the way the module is structured. But after, from next week onwards, it's going to be private sessions.
Right. And will that be on TikTok? Subscription?
I'm trying to find a way to be able to do it on TikTok, but there's a process I have to go through before I can have private lives on TikTok. But I'm also creating a Telegram group.
Okay.
But ideally, I would like it to be on TikTok because TikTok the video.
Okay, so I would like it to be on TikTok because you got paused. Because what? You said I would like it to be on TikTok and it paused. We did not hear you.
I said I would like it to be on TikTok because TikTok, you know what it does? You can download the session afterwards.
Right, and people get a glance of it for like 10, 15 seconds, and that gives them the opportunity to decide whether or not they want to take the class.
Exactly.
So they get a 10 seconds. So do you want to mention how much it is on now, or is it, how do we find out how much?
I can send that to you. It's when you go on yorubaronu.co.uk and you've just missed out on the 20% discount, but you know what? I can generate a discount code for you.
Sorry, I mean,
you've been part of these. You know, and to be fair, to be honest with you, you were one of the motivation behind it.
Get the heavens out of here, because let me tell you something.
Yeah.
You're an amazing teacher, and you really take the time. I mean, I've listened to many different teachers. I was like, okay, let me get about 5 or 7 teachers, but I sat and listened to you, and I was just like, okay, he's really giving all the etymological breakdown of the words, which is something that you don't usually see. People can speak the language, but they don't give the etymological explanation of the words, which is very important, which helps the mind to process the language itself. So I think you're really a really good Oluko teacher. And I have to work on getting myself. I'm not a 9-to-5er, but I will find a way to get to these classes. Another thing I just want to tell you is that, I went to that session. I saw the gentleman teaching about Ajay, and I wrote out that translation that I was given, right? That you. And I put it, I put it on my, you know how I write things really big. So I laid it down in a certain area, and it was like 2 sets of scrolls. And it was like on Monday I was going to say it, but when Monday came, I didn't. And I was sitting, and I was like on a live, and I was talking to somebody, and I was like, these papers kept jumping off of the shelf where I had them. I was like, what is going on? And I put them back up, and it did it 3 times. And then I said, oh, today is Monday. And I was just like, okay.
It was holding on to you, wasn't it?
Man, that's not the first time that's happened to me. It's happened to me with other things too. Yeah.
I know why. You've got something, you've got the spirit of our day in that house.
Yeah, exactly. That's deep. Yeah. So I really, I go to on your bio of this TikTok account, and then I go to your website link.
Yeah, it's yorubaronu.co.uk. But you know what? I'll send you the direct link as well. Okay. But for the purpose of others who are listening, is yorubaronu.co.uk.
This is an excellent class. Yeah. This is absolutely excellent.
Thank you for that. Thanks for the compliments. I really appreciate that. I'm just trying to do my best.
No, it's good quality. It's really, 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 really good quality.
Thanks for the compliment and the endorsement. They're much appreciated. But like I said, it's out of the necessity, right?
It is a necessity.
I didn't wake up one day and decide to do this. It's progressed from what? It progressed from here. I thought this would be enough. But it's only when the likes of yourself and Yami Just Me, who are reading the book, who are seeing a lot of Yoruba wordings and affirmations in there. It is the likes of yourself who are saying, oh, you know what, I would prefer if I could actually, even though the affirmations and the invocations, they're translated, but different people kept coming up and saying, I wish I could actually say them in Yoruba.
Right.
You know?
So in the future, when you do it as a audio recording, I know everybody's going to be buying that. That's the next level. Yeah, that's deep. That's a really high quality book. I mean, I've told you this before, but that's a really, really high quality book. I would not be surprised once more Ifa Isheshe practitioners in the diaspora learn of your book, they're going to be picking that up. They're going to be purchasing that like because, they don't get that type of education on speaking, the language and learning the proper ways of performing Iwure. Would that be the right word? I don't want to use Christian.
That's spot on. Iwure, yeah.
Yes. Okay, I'll be quiet now.
No, that's very good. So thank you very much. Your contributions are always amazing, and I really do thank you for your presence as well as others. Everyone, please power tap. We don't want to. We've been kicked off twice today already. Let's not make it a hat trick, please. So everyone, let's continue power tapping. TikTok is definitely hormonal today because I don't know. I've never experienced it this way before. But let's try to keep the engagement going. So a couple of things there. So the lecture, the modules, at the moment we are offering two different courses. There is Yoruba Language Foundation, okay, which is what we're doing now, but there is also Isheshe. So tomorrow we're going to have the Isheshe week 2, okay? We're going to have Isheshe, so there's two different courses in there. One is Yoruba language and the other is Isheshe. So if you're interested in that, please feel to you can, for those who attended last week, and I posted a video of that on YouTube channel, you can see how detailed it was. We really, really broke down the Orishas, the Ori, the interrelation. We went into a lot of detail, which is available on our YouTube channel, on Yoruba Ronu Publishing on YouTube. So tomorrow we are going to be doing Isheshe, the second module for that, for week 2, tomorrow as well, from 1 p.m. And so for this one, it's on yorubaronu.co.uk. It is $179, and it's a 12-week program, by the way. It's a 12-week program. So which I think again, and if you think about the structure and the courses and the material and the teaching approach, it has been modeled against Open University and Harvard Online. So that's what we've done to actually create the course, to create the program. That's the amount of detail that's gone into it. And for those who started from week 1, who have received the course materials, they'll be able to tell you that it is very professional. So a lot of time and dedication goes into this. It is not just something we've done on the fly. A lot of time and dedication goes into this. So yeah, but for those who, for those who have been with us, let's say since we started with the book and the other program we've done, I am going to extend the 20% discount. But any newcomers, you've missed out. Any newcomers, people who are just joining, you're gonna have to pay the $179. But for the likes of Yami, Kemi, Yami, Just Me, who have been with us from the start, even though you've just missed out by a couple of days, but we can extend that for you. That's fine. Okay?
Thank you.
You're very much welcome. So yeah, I hope people are finding it useful, because that's what it's about. Like I said earlier, the learning objective after the 12-week program is to enable you to develop your language skills to the point whereby, is that TikTok again? Evolve in math. Yami Kemi, thank you so much.
No, I sent you a gift. I wanted you to see it. You missed the first one.
Oh,
no, that's a gift. It means positive family.
Don't resend it, as I definitely saw the second one. So yeah, thank you so much for that. Much appreciated. Lagbara Olodumare, may you be rewarded and repaid in abundance. Okay?
Shan.
And thanks to all the gifters as well. May you all be rewarded in abundance. I just wanted to say that, where was I? So yeah, it's a 12-week program with the objective for the Yoruba Foundation language, Yoruba Language Foundation, is to enable you to be able to what? Master Yoruba language alphabets, words and meanings, and to be able to help you to develop your proficiency in writing and speech. So it's about helping you to develop in a way so that by the ending of that 12-week period, you understand the lettering, you can start to formulate sentences. That's the learning objective. And I have said that even I, as a Yoruba person, I have had to study it. There is an advanced level that I am still in the process of studying right now, because it's very different speaking the language and being able to learn to write the language and apply the right tonal marks, because Yoruba is a language of what? It's a language of tonality. That needs to be learned. You cannot learn that from just speaking Yoruba with your elders, your mother or your father, and just speaking Yoruba to you as a Yoruba person. You can't learn that. That you need to study it. So I have had to go and study that, and I am still in the process of studying that. Okay?
Yeah, so you say Yoruba, so the language of tonality is something specific. One of the elements is important for us to learn. Words and meanings helps us to also develop our language speech. Speaking the language and writing the language. The reason why I'm writing this out is because I really do believe in like performing Iwore around my goals, because it helps me to lock in more. So I was writing that out. So does on your website, does it give us a description of what the goal is in learning the language? Oh, fantastic. Okay, so then I don't have to write notes.
It's quite detailed. So there's a brochure,
awesome,
which you can download. So you can download the course brochure. Tell you what, I'm going to send it to you right now as we're here.
Thank you so much.
So that you can be looking at that as I'm speaking.
You get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, it's quite detailed. It's quite
cover every area. That's what I did with MDotNectar. I actually did meditation or worry around my goal of learning to draw the language, to read it. So now I'm going to do the same with Yoruba. And this is going to be awesome. I feel like I'm finally getting my prayers, my Iwore answered.
Yeah, amazing, isn't it? So let me send you this link now. Bear with me a second. Just in case you want to open it up as we're speaking.
You're sending that on TikTok or my email that you have for me?
I don't believe I've got your email, you know.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I've just sent it as a TikTok message.
Okay, no problem. I'm in my TikTok on my laptop now.
Yeah, so once you've registered, obviously we would have your email, then we can include you
okay, no problem.
in the learning circle so that you can start receiving the course material. The week 1 and the week 2 that you've missed, we'll still send that over to you anyway.
Sounds good. Wow.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, Moshe Bayami Ireni Temi, thank you so much for the gift though. Momo Loreo.
Welcome.
Ẹ ṣeun gan, ọwọ́ yá máa ròkè ní o, kò ní tán níbi tẹ́sí mu, ọwọ́ yín ò ní mọ ìsàlẹ̀ àpò, bó ṣe bá jú ní lọ, ẹ ṣeun. So yeah, so which basically brings us to the end of today's lecture. So this is Yoruba Language Foundation, week 2, okay? In week 2, there are in the module, there are 6, it's broken down into 6 discrete sections. Okay, the first one is, what did we learn in lesson 1? Common Yoruba nouns. Okay, we learned about Omo meaning child, Ọkùnrin meaning man, Obìnrin meaning woman, Baba meaning father, Ìyá meaning mother, Ọ̀rẹ́ meaning friend, Àgbà meaning elder, Ọmọkùnrin means baby boy or a male child, Ọmọbìnrin meaning female child, and Eda meaning human or being, a creation. Okay, and then we started obviously taking this language and developing them, joining the language, combining those different words, different nouns into sentences, okay? We also started learning about places and things. Ile meaning house, itosi meaning nearby, ọjà meaning market, òpópónà meaning road. And I said earlier, òpópónà is the etymology of the common term that people say honor. In Yoruba, in modern speech, you are hardly going to come across it. You're going to hear honor when people are talking about a road or a street or path. You're going to be hearing honor, which is the abbreviation of òpópónà. Okay, but as we're doing this, maybe not for every single word that we're going to be teaching, but some words I feel is important for you to understand the root meaning as well, rather than just the modern abbreviation of them or the modern application of them. Okay, so òpópónà, it sounds deep. It's got 4 syllables in it, but it's basically road. But the current application is honor. The last 3 letters, that's what you're going to hear. Honor, honor, honor. Okay? So ìwé meaning book. Tábìlì meaning table. Aṣọ meaning clothing. Okay? Àga meaning chairs. Ilé ìwé, so this is where we start combining the different words and forming words, phrases, and sentences. Ilé ìwé, you see, we're now saying ilé, which is a house, and ìwé, which is a book. We are now combining them. Ilé ìwé, meaning a school or library. Okay? And this is how you start forming sentences in Yoruba language. Ilé ìwé, or you could say, aṣọ ilé. What does that mean? This is our clothing or clothes which I wear inside the house. Or I can say aṣọ òde, which means a piece of clothing that I wear when I'm going out, when it's for a function. Okay, you see, then what we're doing there, we're starting to formulate phrases, aren't we? Okay, then we progress from there. Yeah, we started using some of the pronouns. I started explaining the difference between a singular and plural. Okay, when it comes to pronouns, we started using èmi meaning me, ìwọ meaning you, and I started saying o meaning I'm talking about, o meaning o you, and you can also say o or o meaning she or it, or I can say o gbé kiní yẹn. And I also explained in Yoruba language, we don't have he, she, or his and hers. No, the context determines whether you're talking about a male or female. So I can say bàbá mi ni ẹni yẹn, or I can say ọkùnrin yẹn. Bàbá mi means my father, or I can say ọkùnrin yẹn meaning that man, or I can say ìyá mi meaning my mother, or I can say obìnrin yẹn meaning that woman. But there is no he or hers, and there is no he or she in Yoruba language. Or you can say àwa meaning us. I am now involved. It's now more than one person of which I'm included. Àwa, please continue power tapping. We don't want to get dropped again, please. So àwa, or I can say ẹ̀yin meaning you guys, you people. Okay, so àwa, which is what? It's singular. It's I'm included in that. Okay, it's a first person speech, or first and second. Or I can say ẹ̀yin, meaning it's a second person speech. I'm talking about you and others, like you people. Or I can say what? Àwọn, meaning those people, like they, them. Okay. So you see, different pronouns. Or I can say àwọn, and for short, when we were breaking it down earlier. Okay, I think it's in the previous lesson. I said àwọn, sometimes in speech, you're going to see people remove that "a" in front of it and just say wọ́n ti dé, meaning they have arrived. You're going to see, you see, I'm not using the "are" in front of it. I'm just saying "wọ́n ti dé," meaning they have arrived. Okay? "Wọ́n ti gbé," that means they. "Wọ́n" is "be," is they. Or "àwọn," the root word is "àwọn," but in application, especially in modern speech, most of the time you're going to hear the "wọ́n" without the "are" in front of it. But as as we're learning this, it's important for us to understand the root word. The root words where necessary. Maybe not in all circumstances, but where necessary. Okay. So from that, we now progress into practicing sentence formations. And so we said, we said "èmi ni," that means it is me. You see, how many words are we combining there? 2 words. "Èmi," which is me. "Ni," it is me. Okay? Or I can say "èmi ni olùkọ́," which means I am the teacher. Okay? And then we said "ìwọ ni," which means I am now turning it back on you. I am saying "ìwọ" as a singular person. "Ìwọ ni," that means you are. I am, èmi ni, you are, meaning ìwọ ni. I can then say "ìwọ ni akẹ́kọ̀ọ́," that means you are the student. But if I'm speaking to a collective, I can say what? "ẹ̀yin." You see, is come back now. "ẹ̀yin." And what did I say earlier about the use of that I said is used to pluralize a subject or person or people rather. You pluralize them by using that and I also said earlier, because Yoruba is a language of what? A language of reverence. We also use the to denote an elderly person. Which is why when Iyami Kemi gave some compliments earlier, I didn't say "Oshe," because if Iyami Kemi was a younger person, or I can say like "Oshe" or "Oshe wo." But because I'm recognizing Iyami Kemi, like I called her Iya, which is my mother, I said "Eshe." Do you understand what that means? That means she's not, there is no more, she's a singular person, but out of reverence, out of respect, I am saying "eshe."
Eshe.
Yeah. It's as if I'm thanking more than one person. So yes, in Yoruba language, in the culture, we recognize and we communicate to elderly people as if we're referring to more than one person. We pluralize our elders, which means we are recognizing their seniority, their respect. We're paying reverence to that. Eshe as opposed to Oshe. Okay? And I said "awa," meaning I am now included in that. I am not just speaking in third person speech. I am now included myself in my target demographic. I am now saying "awa ni ọmọ ilé ìwé." You see, I'm now saying "àwa." Initially, I said "ìwọ," meaning one person. Then I said "ẹ̀yin," meaning you people. And now I'm saying "àwa," meaning us. We. I am now included in that demographic. Okay? So what are we doing there? We're now starting to combine the different words that we've learned from the previous lesson. We are now starting to combine them in order to what? In order to form sentences. And that's how it goes. So from that point onwards, obviously there's some practice activities in there as well. Under each lesson, most lessons, you're going to find some practice activities. Why do we do that? It's not to make the learning experience difficult for the students. We said, remember what I said, the 12-week module is designed with the purpose of developing the student to the point where they can start to develop sentences, both in speech, verbally, and in writing. So it's an accelerated learning program, which is why I am urging everybody to take it seriously. Okay, we're very passionate about that objective of by week 12, when you graduate from the foundation, you should be in a position where you are starting to combine words to formulate sentences, both verbally and in speech. You're able to recognize different letters. You are able to recognize the tonality because Yoruba language is a language of tonality, which is why you're going to see in the vowels. A lot of the time, you may notice a tonal mark because it's always in high tone, middle tone, or low tone. And I provided a framework of. Just me, you know the framework. Are you still with us? Just me.
I'm still here.
So what's the framework for the class? Could you remind us? What's the framework?
Do, re, mi.
Do, re, mi.
Do, re, mi. Do,
Is
re,
the low
mi.
tone with the leftward facing tonal accent, tonal mark. Re, which is the middle tone, is often is neutral. You're not going to notice any tonal marking on top of it. Actually, one second.
You know, the board is because you got the front facing camera, the board is backward. I was like, what is this? Because I couldn't figure out what it was.
No, you can keep the okay. So
You forced my hand. I didn't want to do it like this.
okay, so you no. You
I was lost for a minute because I was like, what is this? He's asking me. I couldn't read it.
You can keep the camera facing that way, and you can still reverse it. You just haven't learned which feature it is in order to still keep it that way and hit the circle that has two lines around it, and that will flip it so that it can still be facing you and it just turns the words the other way. Or you hit mirror and you can do it. But it might take some time for you to get it. Okay, so you see where it says you go into, is it effects?
It says mirror your video, and that's enabled. So let me disable.
Oh, okay. Let's there you go.
Yay!
But it's
Yes.
upside down.
Oh, the phone is upside down?
But you're right side up to us.
Oh, but the language, we could see the language straight across.
Okay, look. If it works for you, it just feels like
Yeah, we can see it. We can see it.
Like
It's-
I'm standing on my head. I could literally do handstands.
Oh no! I gotta get this right for you.
At the end of the day, no. If it works for the audience, it's not for me. If
Okay,
this
so-
works for the audience, then let's go with it.
And honestly, your words are, everything is very clear. I only have one more thing. It's very clear. It's very neat. I'll just tell you, if you can find some expo markers, which are thicker, but we can see this very clear. It's very clean. I just, you're just a great teacher. I see it all. It's very good.
Okay, you're more than welcome, and thank you for that compliment once more.
Just, yeah.
So if you zoom into this area here, this is the framework with which you can use to practice the tone. So we've got, in Yoruba language, it's a language of tonality, like I said. So which means we've got, let me just tilt it slightly over here. Okay. So yeah, we've got high, medium, or low tone in Yoruba language. So it's do, re, mi. Do is the low tone and is denoted with a leftward facing tonal mark. It's literally pointing left. The mid tone is re. Typically, it's blank, or sometimes you're gonna see the vowel is going to have a dash on top of it. Okay, but rarely, majority of the time, you're going to see it's going to be blank. That means it's re, it's a middle tone, and then you've got mi, which is the high tone. So do, re, mi. So when you encounter any Yoruba word, you're going to see this. So this, which is why, like I said, but the tonal markings are very, very serious in Yoruba, because the same word, which may look like the same sentence, like the same word or combination of letters, may have a completely different meaning depending on the tonal markings that it carries. Okay? Like for instance, aja, which is what? Re, mi. But then you could have, which means dog.
Aja, re, mi.
But aja is completely different meaning. Even though it's A-G-A, it could be a completely different meaning by just the tone that it carries.
That's the only part which I find is the most challenging to grasp. The recognition of the inflections, tonal sound, and the and making it the inflection with the tone, associating the inflection with the tone and registering it in the mind to utter it in the proper way.
Which is why, what do? You use this framework of do, re, mi. Okay?
Re, mi.
So if you see, like for instance, aja, what are we doing there? If you hum it to yourself, just hum it to yourself. So what does that sound like? It sounds like re, mi.
Okay, re, mi.
So you know that in aja, basically the first vowel is going to what? That's re, because it sounds like you see? So that means it's going to be neutral, right? It's going to be bland. And the second vowel, ja, what does that sound like? If you hum ja to yourself, what tone do you get?
Re, mi, ja.
You got it. You got it.
Re, mi. It's a me.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. It is that simple, but you have to hum it to yourself.
Right.
And all Yoruba people do this, by the way.
Oh, they do.
It's not just you, no.
Oh.
Even we're talking about seasoned Yoruba people who have been Yoruba their entire lives. They've been speaking the language for 50 years. But when it comes to reading, how do you know which is which? It is through humming to yourself. That's how you know.
Wow.
It gets, with practice, after a while, maybe it becomes automatic. But even for me, whenever I'm reading, in order to know the meaning, because the tonal accent and the differentiation determines what the meaning of the word, not just the letters.
This is so beautiful. I mean, I'm so fascinated by this. I'm wondering, does our language, is there history around why our language was written like this, expressed like this?
Because Yoruba language is deep. We should probably be saying this in the other course, which is the
okay. So I'll wait. This is amazing.
For those who are participating and partaking in the Isheshe, we get more into the primordial, the spiritual aspect of it. Because Yoruba language is a language of Ashe. It is not just how can I say it? How can I put it mildly? It is Yoruba. It's a spiritual language.
It's not lazy speech either.
No,
it's really.
It's got Ashe in it. It's a powerful. It's a spiritual language.
This is amazing. I don't know. I was listening to somebody speaking a little bit of
Yoruba language. What's the origin of Yoruba language? What's the source?
Is it from Ife?
Ifa.
It's Ifa. Oh, I was saying Ife, the
Ile
Ife.
Yes, that's where it started from, because our origin is Ile Ife. It's correct. But inside Ile Ife, how did it become the language of the people who originated from Ile Ife? Yoruba language is basically the modern Yoruba language, the modern speech. It's a watered down version of Edeokbe or Ohun-okbe, which is the voice of Ifa, what our Yoruba.
Wow.
Yes, it's not from here. It's not a language that was formulated by humans on earth. No, it's heaven. It's deep.
Woo!
Why does it have Ashe?
Why does it have Ashe? Because the language it's a tonal language which actually was formulated and came directly from Olorun, heaven.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
So,
and even though people are religious, even though people are Christian or Muslim or whatever, they're still speaking the language of Ifa. They're from Olorun. Yoruba.
Which is why after Christians, they can say, in Jesus' name, all that empty nonsense. But when you finish as a Yoruba person and you carry the blood, and you now say, lágbára Ọlọ́run àmì or àṣẹ o. What you've just done there, you can say a million words in English language and put in
Right.
Jesus' name against it. But after you finish, and you're going to notice a lot of Yoruba do it. They do it through automation subconsciously. They don't know that they're doing it. Even if a Yoruba, the most devout Christian person, when they pray to you, when they finish saying their what they call prayer in English language or Arabic, then they're going to finish it off with some Yoruba. But the Yoruba is where the Asher is.
Right.
It is not the biblical or the
I
Quran
know.
that you're saying that's making it come into fruition. Oh, here we go.
Deep. That's
TikTok.
deep. No, it happens. You got to do the puzzle. I'm tapping, but it does it. It's early day too, or late day for you. It's what it is.
It's literally like midday.
Wow, that is intense. What you just open up the framework, but Christian language is not synonymous or parallel. Even though religion tries to, not the people, but the missionaries tried to make the Yoruba language and other African languages parallel with English words in Christianity.
That's the deception.
I know. Oh.
But it's a deception, but they're empty. You know, look. Yeah, that's the deception.
I'm with you.
It's so deep, but which is why Yoruba, it is not by accident, and I'm not bragging. When you see Yoruba people in different parts of the world, you're gonna notice they're thriving, aren't they?
Thriving?
Have you noticed anything about Yoruba? They have a funny way of finding themselves at the top in anywhere you find them.
Listen, I'm telling you, that is a fact. Flourishing and thriving and not just surviving. I'm like, that's why I'm like, I gotta learn my language.
I'm giving away too much of the secrets now. There is a reason for that.
There's energy.
There's energy behind the words. There's energy, there's power behind the language, which is what we call ashe. Okay?
But the substance of the words that are venerated, and the value of the words and their meaning is what also gives it's like it nourishes the faculties of a being. So it's not a joke, it's not a lazy language, it's not stale, it's very fresh, and it's very it has substance that is a value, of high values.
It carries weight.
It carries its weight.
Let me tell you something else I've observed. People who don't even understand the language, and a lot of people have said this to me, that even those who don't understand the language, when they hear the language being spoken, they feel like they are moved spiritually. They don't understand the language, they don't know the meaning, but when they hear in Yoruba spoken, they feel, because remember, our Ori is in 3 dimensions, isn't it? We've got Ori, which is our conscious mind. So even in your conscious mind, you don't know the meaning, you don't understand the wordings, but you then got your subconscious mind, your Ori,
that's right,
which understands it, even though you don't.
I always say that.
Your conscious mind doesn't, but your Ori, it resonates with your Ori.
I always say that to people years ago, even when I wasn't studying the language. That's a fact. When I was really sick and I had a really bad stomach ache, cramps, my elder Oluwole, R.I.P., he stood over me because I was crying, and he spoke. He was saying Iwore over me, and I felt the pain go up right. His voice went right to my womb area. The energy, it was rising up out of my womb area where the cramps were, and it was coming up. I could feel it as he was speaking over me. It was coming up out of me, up out of my stomach, my trachea, and out of my mouth, and the pain was gone.
It was using what we call bolong. We're getting too deep now.
The power's in the word. Okay, I'll be quiet. This is my experience.
We're getting too deep now. Yami, Justin, please go ahead.
I just wanted to say that just to confirm what you said earlier about the language, because I'm not really a social media person, But I would go on just to be entertained. And I was going through the lives one day, and I was flipping through, and I came across yours. And you were not only speaking English, you were speaking Yoruba. And for some reason, I was drawn to it. I was literally drawn. Then you start talking about the book, then I was more intrigued. And sometimes when you are speaking your Yoruba and you're doing your affirmation and invocations, somehow I can't explain the connection. I can't explain what it is, but it is something that's something that touches me deeply. And that's why sometimes I go on to the other brothers' lives and I listen, even though I can't understand what they're saying, but something about the language that I find that is like an attraction, like a pull. So what you're saying is true. And I can tell you for this week, because normally you would come on in the middle of the week and you would do a little bit with the book and so forth. I kind of miss that because I was like, the connection feels a little bit weak because I was not hearing the language, not hearing the application. I was not getting the teaching, and we were not going through the book. So it felt like, how should I say, like something was missing this week, and I felt like the connection was weakening. So when you came on this morning, it was much needed for me actually, because I want to establish the connection strong. I don't just want to have it fade away, because I realize that I'm maybe going in the right direction, because I'm seeing a little changes, very subtle, and I can tell you, like yesterday I was out picking up some stuff, and I just pulled into a parking lot, and I'm like, why did I pull in here? And then I said, you know what, you're here, we're not going. And I found something in that store that I was looking for a while.
Wow.
Yeah, and I didn't know, I couldn't, I went there pulling here, I just didn't understand, but I feel it. So I want to always establish the connection. I want to establish the connection. I want to maintain it. So I know that it comes to study. Yeah, actually, it comes to study.
And it's not just you, even myself. I can almost feel like, sometimes life gets in the way sometimes, and it shouldn't. Well, let's say I've left the house. Let's say I'm in a rush, I had an early appointment, and I've left the house. And I'm just, focused on what I'm doing. I'm focusing on my appointment. I'm going there, I have to get here quickly, and I'm in a rush. And I've left the house. And how do I know, or what reminds me that, I have not said my Iwure? I feel it. There's just an odd feeling that you feel. You just feel like you're a bit distant from your Ori.
Yes.
Wow.
There's that distance that you feel. So as soon as I get the feeling before I come to the realization, right? So as soon as I feel it, I just feel a little bit disconnected. Then I'm like, why do I feel like this? And I remember instantly, I didn't say my Iwure. Then I start saying it immediately.
So your body is responding.
In my spirit first. It's like a bit of a disconnection. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, so your body is actually responding to the fact that you haven't fed it the sustenance of the word.
Exactly.
Yeah, because
that's why I'm saying you're you develop a connection to a certain point. When it's missing, you're going to feel it in your body. Before you come to the consciousness of it, your body feels it first.
That's why I want to actually do all of my Iwures in Yoruba.
Okay. And we're going to get there. Thank you so much for the gift. Yami Irene Temi, Moshe Bajunilo, thank you so much. So in the Yoruba language, it's not just an empty language of just words and meanings. It carries power. There's power behind it, which is why it's important that we try to use it. It's a tool. So let's learn it. Let's try to use it. And lágbára Olódùmarè, ìṣẹ̀ṣe àgbèwà Yorùbá àgbèwà, we'll be able to utilize it and use it to manifest. It's a language of what? A language of invocation. It's a language of affirmation. It's a language of manifestation. Torí ẹ̀ la ṣe máa ń wúre nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, a kì í ṣàdúrà. We don't pray. Praying is begging. We do Iwure because we understand it's like an acknowledgement of it's like an application, is applied faith. because we know that we are Omoluabi, Omolodunari. We know that we carry that energy with us, and we know that we can then use it for our own manifestation to clear that path, to manifest, to attract, to amplify our attractiveness, our magnetism to whatever it is we're trying to magnetize or whatever it is we're trying to repel. So, which is why the language is a tool. So you have to use it. It's there. So it's important to know how to use it as a tool. Okay? So yeah, obviously, let's keep it let's keep it on solid ground. So thank you everybody today. I hope you found. So today is Yoruba language week 2. So we've been talking about the module 2 for the second week, which is broken down into 6 different lessons. So there's lesson 1 to 6 inside the module. For those who have signed up, you would have received your learning material for week 1 and week 2, which includes the PowerPoint slide with an overview of today's lecture, as well as the workbook. The workbook has been structured in such a way that there are some learning activities in it to further enhance what we are teaching, so that in your own private space, you can also go and do the practice activities and further enhance and, you know, absorb what we've just learned. So it's important, and I definitely recommend that, because, like I said, it's an accelerated learning program. We want you to really absorb every lesson, every teaching, everything. You can absorb it further through what? Through practice. We're human. We learn faster and we learn deeper by practice. So there's some practice activities in the workbook. So I would definitely encourage you, take the time. If you have any questions, definitely reach out to me, ask questions. We'll be able to support you, we'll be able to help you. On the website, there is a live chat function on there. Sorry, there is a live chat function on there. But obviously, if you all have my TikTok or you have my Telegram as well, and we already have a personal relationship because you've been coming to the live, I know who I'm talking to, you can definitely message me directly, privately, either through TikTok or Telegram, and I will be able to respond as quickly as I can. So I hope it's been useful. So if anyone has any final wordings or any final questions, please go ahead and do that before we close up.
No, this is it for me. I just wanted to thank you, and I appreciate the teaching. I believe that social media should be used for good, and this is one of the good aspects of social media.
Well said. Well said.
Much appreciated.
But I couldn't say it any better. Thank you, Oluko Réré.
Ọpẹ́ ni f'Olódùmarè. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for everyone who's joined and rejoined, because we've been thrown off at least twice today by TikTok. So I do appreciate everybody's support and dedication. Thank you so much for the gift, much appreciated. May all the gifters be rewarded abundantly. Ọwọ́ yá máa ròkè, ọwọ́ yóò ní mọ ìsàlẹ̀ àpò, kò ní tán níbi tẹ́sí mu, tẹ́ bá ná owó kan, a lọ mú igba owó wá lágbára Ìdùmarè. So thank you everybody.
Akariel, is that when we say Fumini Ire Akariel, is that may the good fortune that goes around come around to all?
Oh, Kire Kari.
Oh, Kire Kari.
Kire Kari, I worry about you. We've got some secrets in there.
Yeah, sorry, but Baba, Baba, Oluko, I want to ask you, is your TikTok already set up with your account so that your gifts transfer over to your bank every week?
Bank every week?
Yeah, because you can set it up through TikTok to make sure that all the gifts that we send you, it actually goes into your bank account every week. So you need to check into that. Yeah, because
I'll look into that. But TikTok, I'm not sure if you've seen me on other people's platform. I give more than I ever received, and I like it that way.
Okay, because I'm sending you. I want you to get what I'm sending you. Okay.
Oh, okay. I didn't know I could do that, but I'll definitely.
Yeah, you can. That. Yeah, that's part
of it. I'll convert my coins and then I use them as gifts.
Oh, okay. You convert them and circulate them in. Okay, no problem.
So when I want to give something, if my what's it called? if my balance, if my coin, my you know, the balance of your coins, when it's lower than the gift that I want to send, it then prompts me to say, do you want to convert these gifts?
Oh, got it. Exactly.
Then I
But
do
you
that.
can also, if you don't convert them within a week, they roll it over as cash to your bank account or your PayPal.
I didn't even know that was possible.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that
You're
insight.
welcome.
I'll definitely look into that. I'm still learning TikTok, to be fair. I'm still learning TikTok. But I really do appreciate that. So yeah, thanks everybody. I hope you all have a wonderful week ahead. We're going to be doing Isheshe Foundation, the second week too. We're going to be doing that tomorrow from 1 p.m. UK time tomorrow for those who are interested in that. But like I said earlier, only the first 2 weeks are we doing publicly, because we have to be fair to those who have actually invested, for those who have invested in their learning, who are paid. So we have to ensure from week 3 onwards, it's going to be behind a wall, okay? It's going to be private lives going forward. So if anyone is interested, then please feel free to do that. If somebody is really interested and it's an affordability issue, then please consult me. We can definitely look into that. We can offer discounts where possible, especially for those who have been with us for quite some time. So if you're just looking at it and you're thinking, if it's an affordability issue, but you're really serious about it, then do consult, do reach out. Either reach out to me personally, or Réré, on my Réré account, or you can reach out to Yoruba Publishing, which is the business with my partners, either myself or my partners. They'll be able to respond to you. But we want to make this accessible to everybody. But we have to then, obviously, it can't be free because people don't appreciate it when it's free. And also, we are investing a lot of time and money behind these lectures. And once you sign up and you start receiving the modules, you'll see that there's a lot of time and dedication, the materials rather, you'll see there's a lot of time and dedication and structure associated with this. It's not just me coming live and switching my camera on. A lot happens in the background, okay? And we've got a dedicated website for this as well. So thanks everybody today. So àtúmọ̀pàdé ní ọ̀la fún àwọn tó bá fẹ́ study Ìṣẹ̀ṣe Foundation. We started last week, and also for those who don't, maybe you're not sure about the Ìṣẹ̀ṣe Foundation, what is it about? There is a video on our YouTube channel, Yoruba Ronu Publishing. You can then go and watch the video to see that lecture. That week 1 should give a taste of what's to come, because it's very detailed. We're really getting into the foundation of Ìṣẹ̀ṣe, foundation of the Yoruba people. We talk about the different entities within Ìṣẹ̀ṣe, what they are, what they're not, separating the myths from the truths, and obviously removing, unveiling and unmasking what we call Ìṣẹ̀ṣe. Okay, so thanks everybody for your time today, and I hope you all have enjoyable days and wonderful weekends. Thank you. Ẹ ṣeun o, mo ṣe bá Júní lọ o. Mo kí gbogbo ilé lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí o. Ìyá mi yèyé dára ire sí mi, mo ṣe bá yín o. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend as well. Your face smooth. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you have a great weekend. Iyami Josmi, always a pleasure having you on board. Thank you so much. Iyami Kemi, it's always amazing having you on board. Thank you very much for joining us. Iyami Ajemi Posi, thank you so much for your contributions. Iyami Ireni Temi, thank you so much. Thanks for all your contributions. So yeah, for all those who are watching in the FYP as well, we feel your presence, and we thank you for your time also. Okay? Odaro.
Odaro.